from? Tabaxi aren't native to the Forgotten Realms, to Faerun. They come from Faerun's sister, or Toral's sister world, Abir. But you don't have to have come from there. You might be a local, you might be a native, you might be something completely more exotic. So I should start first off. How much do you know about the Forgotten Realms as a campaign?
A moderate amount. I've done some small campaigns in here, but not anything super extensive. But, I know the general geography. I know the major town.
Cool. Well, this game's set after the Spell Plague, and the Spell Plague went for about 120 years and was such a tumultuous event that it turned the whole world upside down. It literally involved planes merging with each other, and entire sectors, acres, hectares, and city blocks disappeared and were eaten up and replaced with someone else. And that's kind of what happened with Mazteca, which is where the Tabaxi people were from. It was a Mexico, South America style continent far across the trackless sea, thousands of miles across, that we discovered about 150 years ago, only to lose 120 years ago when the Spell Plague literally ripped it out of the face of the earth and put it in another world, and then brought it back again. So you might be descended from those first Tabaxi we discovered 150, 180 years ago, that we brought back from the New World as a sort of curiosity. Look at this. I've got a new humanoid to put in my zoo. Aren't his spots beautiful? And you might be descended from those people, or you might have been a more recent arrival. When the Spell Plague ended, Mazteca was dumped back in the world, and now trade is resuming between the two continents. And there might be a third alternative, something completely out there. Perhaps your ancestors have been here for 10,000 years and have been virtually undiscovered, or maybe you've come through some interdimensional portal. The possibilities are completely limitless, particularly in this game, since Waterdeep brings everyone together from such disparate regions and worlds. So we'll start, first of all, with your ancestors or with your parents. What do you think the story behind your civilization, your tribe, or your society might be?
So, my thought on this was that I'm actually from not the most recent round, but that first round of discoveries, and that my family's actually been in Waterdeep since that time.
Cool.
We had sort of set up shop, though, and have some other parts of the tribe are a little bit in some of the neighboring forests, but I personally have been in Waterdeep since it's my home. So I grew up here, and have sort of found work mainly by being connected to some of the people who need and want information. So if as a metagaming thing, I've got the spy background.
Wow.
So I
don't want to be racist here, but how do you respond when people call you an alley cat?
I've learned to have a fairly tough skin, and particularly as long as the coin is good, and I'm generally approving of what's happening, I don't really care that much.
Okay, cool.
And have mainly worked to build contacts within the people who can pay in town. So, not knowing exactly how this kicked off starting at this point, but my assumption was one of my contacts in Waterdeep had requested that I tag along to this because someone they were employed by was interested in what was down the yawning portal. So I'm along for my own purposes, but also to scope things out for what I'm sort of assuming is probably one of the masked lords, but I don't actually know that.
Okay, that's great. So, is your family involved in the illegitimate trade, or are they more legitimate businessmen, and you're just kind of the black sheep of the family?
I'm a bit of an outlier. They're much more traditional, and I wouldn't say that I'm particularly political, but I'm a little bit more connected given my business.
Yeah.
So they're much more standoffish and, keep to themselves either in the sort of respective enclaves within Waterdeep or the other members of the tribe in the nearby forests.
Cool. All right. So, and now about you being a spy or someone connected. First of all, do you mind telling everyone you're alive, or would you like to keep that a secret?
Sorry, I didn't catch
Sorry.
To tell everybody my what?
Your alignment.
Neutral good.
Okay, cool. So being neutral good, you're unlikely to be an agent of the Zentarum or the Xanathar's Guild, the Zentarum being a criminal mercenary organization, and the Xanathar's Guild being a criminal slaver organization. It's of all the factions, the Harpers seems like one that you'd likely be associated with. Do you know much about them as a player?
Yeah, so I do. So I would probably assume that, at least at the moment, I'm unaligned, but I've probably done work for the Harpers on a freelance basis every once in a while, given my background level and the fact that I'm in water.
Excellent. In that case, your contact is a woman called Amara, who has extensive contacts with these people and was, in fact, a co-business owner, may even still be a co-business owner with these people. I'm not quite sure. There was also another tabaxi called Whispers, who filled a similar role to you, but they were maybe a little bit more nefarious. But Amara is a suitable contact for you. One of those people who, you think she probably isn't a hidden lord, but maybe just a little bit too young to be a hidden lord. But one of those people on that sort of trajectory, and also one of those people who is a machine man, someone who's already part of the system, as it were, but someone with morality, someone with ethics, and someone who knows these guys particularly well. So she's sent to you to be her eyes and her ears, knowing that you're an independent operative, and while she trusts you and relies upon you, you're a tabaxi. And hey, I'm not being racist here, but tabaxi have a reputation for a kind of imperfect set of ethics. Anyway, we're now on the second level. We've been in. You've lived in Waterdeep your whole life, and so you've known about the Yawning Portal for much of that time, and the legends of Undermountain, of Halasta, Blackstaff, and all the magical dangers that lie below are well known to you. But this is your first foray, and this is your first foray into Undermountain. And you're joined by you've managed to tag along with these individuals. They've probably surprised you a little bit as much as they've impressed you or distressed you. They've managed to adopt an entire colony of goblins and subjugate them into some kind of mercantile servitude. And they've now discovered hundreds of barrels of dwarven whiskey, each of which are at least 1,000 years old, and yet, because of a magical ward, their freshness has been preserved this whole time. So these folk are enterprising. They've got just enough moral laxity for you to relax, and just enough business acumen for you to make some money. So I guess you probably feel at home.
That sounds about right.
We spent 8 hours down here, didn't we? We've had our long rest.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
You pry the door open, and to no one's surprise, it's completely clear and quiet here. After all, we did, we blocked multiple doors on our way here. And yeah, I think we're rested and ready to go.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure what we should do today, if it's even day. But there was that door we missed earlier. Perhaps we should go back there and check it out.
By the fire-spewing crossbow? Is that the one?
That's the one. Yes, the one Sanj so kindly made me put myself in front of.
Ah.
Well, I mean, you blame it on Sanj, but I seem to remember you insisting upon going forwards and dancing around like a jackass.
Sanj said that's what you had to do to get past the trap.
I mean, was he wrong? We got past it.
I suppose not.
All right. Well, feel free to lead the way, Zevram. You seem to be rather adept at attracting members. More for you and less for us.
Pull on these doors to open them up.
Someone has barred them.
Shit. Right, who locked the door? Very funny. It's another one of your jokes. Lucius?
We'll knock on the door. Hello? Anyone there?
There's no response. Though, make a perception check. You distinctly smell those vats, those rotten vats with their 1,000-year-old dregs, huge cauldron. So at least you know where you are.
This. Oh, no, really? You think someone would have moved them overnight?
Maybe we teleported to a different plane of existence. Have you ever thought of that?
So, how are these doors locked then? I mean, they open outwards towards us.
It feels like there's a bar on the other side of the door.
If there was a bar on the other side of the door, it wouldn't stop us.
It's possible.
How are we gonna get through this? Does this door have
Is the door locked or is it barred?
Barred, not locked, just barred. So there's a pair of doors, big, heavy doors that the dwarves built. As I recall, this dwarf door has a vestige image of a dwarf drinking beer, and on the other side, it's got his ass. You see the dwarf from the rear end just drinking the same beer. Anyway, it's not locked. It's just barred, and it's barred from the other side. And, we were the last ones to come through here. We specifically chose this area because it was so well defended. Someone's trapped us in here. They haven't done a great job. You're still able to wiggle the door, and you can kind of see beyond and see the vats on the other side, but there's a bar. There's a bar over it.
Don't worry, guys. I can get through this. I'll cast Gaseous Form on myself.
Yeah.
And just slip right through the cracks.
Yeah, too easy. And it's not a challenge at all. You're then able to reassume normal form, unbar it. So these rooms are tall. They're filled with great big copper or brass vats. Each of the vat has a kind of staircase going around. Dwarves aren't very tall, and these vats are very tall, 15 feet tall or something like that. And so the dwarves conveniently built a staircase around each and every one of them so that they could go up and presumably stir the brew or add in the hops or whatever the process is for brewing. Yeah.
Before we move on, I'm going to look around, see if I can see any signs of anyone else having been here.
Yeah, no worries. Make a survival check, I guess. Investigation will also work.
So, since I clearly have a bit of amnesia, did we thoroughly check this room for other doors or anything else when we were here before?
Not other doors, no. kind of.
Well, I mean, we had a brief look around. We didn't go looking for secret doors, and we do know there are secret doors in the area because we've encountered. There's no obvious doorways, but we didn't do an extensive search.
So I'd want to take a look around for any secret doors, because I'm curious who would have barred this and if they came in from an unexpected direction.
Excellent. So there's two ways that I tend to do this. It's usually an investigation rather than a perception check, and you can either just say, look, I just want to search the room. You maybe make a few casual things like I'm looking at the walls, I'm looking at the roof, and then you roll. Or you might want to go something more specific. You're like, okay, down here in this right-hand corner, I'm going to be feeling around the stone panels. I'm going to try to scrape away at any grime or dirt or something that I find. And in that case, if you do it specifically, you'd get an advantage. If you do it generally, you don't. But of course, if you do something specifically here and the secret door is over here, you're not going to find it. So that's kind of how I do it anyway.
All right, so I think I would just give the room an overall once-over, looking for anything that might be an additional entrance or secret door.
Cool. Take an investigation roll. It takes somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes to, stroll around the room and inspect what you think looks odd. Give a loose stone a bit of a kick. You don't spot any exits besides the ones in and the ones out. However, you do become aware that of the 6 vats in here, 2 of them have no lid. There's no signs of any lid. Maybe someone stole them, melted them down for bronze or something. Whatever the case, the 2 that don't have a lid, they have a thick, viscous, blue-green liquid within them. And while you're just skirting around looking, it's all quiet in here, nothing happens, a bubble rises from the bottom to the top, this bottom left. Bubble's, maybe 6 inches wide, so a relatively large bubble. Bloop, and then just disappears. One bubble.
Oh, that's interesting.
Careful, if there's something in there, could be hostile.
I already had a look in those. It's just some goop.
Like some old ale, if I remember right, just all settled, all weird.
And I look around. Is there like a little pebble or chipped part of the stonework or something? But it's got to be dense. I want something that I can throw in there that will sink.
Yeah, plenty. And if you didn't find one, there'd be copper pieces in your pockets. But yeah, there's dozens of little stones and rocks and lots of pieces of copper and metalwork, because this is a cooper, a room for cooping where we make barrels and bind barrels. So old chunks of wood, which I guess would float, but old shards and strips of copper, stones. Yeah, all of these are available. Absolutely.
So I look around at the rest of the group, but hold up a bit of chipped stonework and kind of look at the where the bubble was and sort of shrug as if to say, like, should I toss it in? But without actually.
Yep, sure. Go ahead.
I mean, whatever floats your boat, I guess.
All right, to toss it in.
All right, so you're down on the ground when you throw it up there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So it's about 20 feet high, but the thing's huge. You're not going to miss. You throw it in there, there is a plop, and then nothing. And just as you're beginning to relax, the whole thing vibrates a little bit, and a bit of the liquid spills over the edge. And then it stops again.
That's weird.
I'll climb up the stairs to take a look down it.
Yeah, no worries. By the time you've arrived, there's no longer any ripples, but other than the ones that you make as you climb up the stairs. But you can see where the skin on the vat, the liquid has broken, yeah, it's so if you were to lean over and get a bit of a look in, you might be able to see past the kind of fatty oil skin sitting on the surface and into the thinner liquid. Even though that's a discoloured, muddy liquid, if you lean in far enough, you might be able to see something.
I'll take my quarterstaff and try stirring the surface up. And to clear up some of the gunk.
Put your staff in, and you start stirring it up. And for a moment, your staff gets stuck, as if you managed to find like a little tar pit or something. And then, just before you're able to yank your staff away, how do I describe this? It turns to sawdust. It's in your hands, and then it isn't. You can see the remains of it, the particle remains. You've got a handful of sawdust and there's sawdust spread over the top of this film, but you don't have a staff anymore.
Oh.
It dematerialized. It deconstructed on a molecular level, and it's now dust.
Okay.
And it wasn't like it melted, it's not like you put it in there and it's an acid that ate it away. The decomposition just vanished like an instant effect. It turned to dust. Thanos style.
Someone check this for magic, maybe? I'll look over at our two wizards sitting in the corner doing nothing.
Probably magical. Never heard of dwarven whiskey turning wood to dust before. Seems magical to me. It seems magical to you, Sanj?
Confirmed.
Probably
magic confirmed, Sanj tells you.
Yeah. What else are you expecting, Ash? I'm not sticking my hand in there.
I just want to know what type of magic it is.
Probably evocation to do that. Look at the sawdust.
Hey, do you think you could, bottle some of that?
Sure, I'll try.
Just be careful it doesn't turn the glass to, dusted glass.
Well, don't stick your hand in there. Try to do it from a distance.
I'll very carefully try to get some into a glass vial.
Make a sleight of hand check. Oh, so delicate. Oh, so delicate. And you're so sensitive with your light and slender fingers as you carefully drag your vessel along the surface and soak up some of the scum and some of the fluid and some of the sawdust too. And in fact, you break enough of the skin to get a look at some discolored, fleshy mass which lies only a few inches below the surface. It's vaguely spherical, although jagged in all directions. At first you think that it seems to have a number of serpents swimming alongside it, or tentacles. But no, they're
Another one? Shit.
Oh, wow.
It hasn't noticed you yet. It's just a dead beholder sitting in the water with its eye stalked at rest. And there is some disintegrated staff floating on the surface.
Guys?
Yes? What is it?
You remember
Why do you look so pale?
That thing we found?
You're gonna have to be more specific than that. We found a lot of things down here. I've found at least 3 mimics.
I don't know what it is really, but you guys were really scared when you saw it.
What is it? What are
You're
you
gonna
talking
have to
about?
be more specific. Zevram's scared of everything.
I'm not.
No, I was just
You're
talking about
scared of
them.
everything.
It like has maybe one really big eye. It's kind of fleshy.
A penis.
Some weird snakes growing out of there.
Lucius is gonna like slowly start backing around the other side of the fucking the barrel.
Yeah. You called it the Xanathar, I believe.
What? You're saying there's another one of those, eye thingies in there.
Yeah.
Well, come down from there quickly.
I don't know. It disintegrated my staff somehow, and it's just floating there, not really caring.
I think it's time for us to get going.
We should really leave. Perhaps we should do something about this room, though. This might be some sort of holding vat for them. Check the other one, Lucius.
You fucking check the other one.
I told you to check it first.
Got a point there.
Oh, fuck you, you coward. I'm gonna start going up.
So you're looking down on a grimy, fatty substance that is a vaguely aquamarine swirl. And underneath it, you know that there is, liquid water of sorts. You estimate the skin to be about 6 to 8 inches thick. What are you going to do?
I'm going to get out my dancing lights, and I'm going to put them beneath the surface, see if they can't illuminate what's below. Perhaps make a shadow.
Sure. Dancing lights. I don't think dancing lights pass through solid objects, though. They won't go through a wall. They won't go through a skin of fat, either.
Alright, in that case, I will try and make an opening for them. Let me see what I have.
Your fancy angel killing sword.
No!
What's the worst that could happen?
Exactly.
Well, I don't think I'll be needing these, and I take out my fisherman's waders.
What?
The pants.
Your what?
The pants.
The long boots that we use when we walk through the sewers.
When you said waders, I'm thinking like bathers, and like you've got fishermen's. What do they even look like? Are they like those 1920s swimsuits or something?
Yeah, I'm just Tony Aberdeen the whole time with my budgie smugglers. No.
Why do you have those with you?
The poo-poo overalls.
Yes, the poo-poo overalls. I will like throw them down, put them onto this fatty skin, and then using sort of the tip of my normal scimitar, not my special scimitar. I sort of wash it around the top just to clear it.
You begin to stir up your concoction, and all that you produce is trouble.
I thought so. Well, can't see anything in this one.
What about the other ones that have the lids on them?
Well, I'm not checking those.
Is there any easy way to get the lids off?
Even if there isn't, even if there are, beholders in each one of them, we should not be testing them.
Okay.
I think let's just leave well enough alone. There's plenty more things down here that can kill us. We needn't go looking for them.
How are we supposed to get our booze out?
Well, we'll send the goblins. They don't need to know about it. Oh, Torrent, come back.
Oh, yeah, don't walk that way.
Oh, okay.
The contraption here is somewhat, I guess, triggered by people walking in front.
As Aldrich just walks through it.
So this hallway that Aldrich is standing at, you may recall, is illuminated by small glowing red lights, guide lights, I suppose is an appropriate phrase. And these little guide lights line the walls. They don't provide a lot of illumination, but I suppose they show you where the wall is, which is something.
I take a deep breath and
There's a
made it.
I'm just gonna casually walk down the hallway.
yeah. I'll also just slowly walk out there. Fucking idiots.
Here is another door. It is it's an old dwarven door, similar to many of the others here. Wood, 1,000-year-old, 2,000-year-old oak that has been banded with bronze. The bronze has long since turned green.
I will give it a once over and see if I can't find any traps or mechanisms.
Excellent. So you make us a investigation roll. And what'd you get?
12.
Sorry?
12.
12. At the moment, you don't see anything. It looks like the people have picked these locks time and time again, and over that time, they've kind of broken the locking mechanism to some degree, which has only made it easier to open because it's the lock is now compromised. It shouldn't be a challenge for you at all.
Okay, but it's still locked.
But it is.
Okay. Right, I've got this, fellows. $17 on Thieves' Tools.
17 is gonna do it. Yeah, cool. Yep, 17 will do it. And you've opened the door with ease. The lock is more or less broken as it is, and so a good solid kick would probably knock this down. This is a long hallway, long and bare. It doesn't look like this place gets used very much.
Wonder where this leads.
We're right behind you, Sevram.
There's that rocky smell in the air, that stench of burning rock, which was so familiar to you. In an area similar to this, it feels like this entire, or smells like this entire sector has been undergoing earthworks as of late. That stench of burning rock, that cordite smell. It's quite peculiar and a little bit chemical.
Smells like whatever that beholder was doing. I hope there isn't another one.
That would be mildly problematic.
Up ahead, you will find a cave-in. There's a whole bunch of stone and rock, which is piled all the way to the roof, and it's piled beside a door. That door is of that old dwarven style, although this one doesn't seem to be damaged in any way, shape, or form. It looks like it hasn't been opened in a significant amount of time.
All right. I will check this one again. Make sure there's nothing waiting.
Mm.
And then, if I feel confident, I will just unlock.
You do find some things, even with that relatively, just a casual scan that you gave it. This door has, in its brass bandings, there are dwarven runes. If anyone can read dwarven, you'll be able to. Oh, and I think Sanj can, right?
Dwarven? Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he could. And even he says it's unclear because of the weathering and the time. But the symbols and the words that he's recognizing, words like Dumathoin, words like temple, indicate that this may have once been a religious area for the dwarves of Malakin when they built these halls in the prehistoric past.
Hey, look. If that's right, Sanj, then let's see if these Malaki dwarfs have any treasures hidden behind it.
It's definitely possible.
Are the runes magical? Lucius?
I don't have magic eyes, Zevram.
No, you have special eyes.
What about your little floaty thing? Do you have a magic eye?
Yes, he has a number of magic eyes. I can't read Dwarvish. I can't tell if they're magic or not without stopping for quite some time to examine them properly.
I shrug. All right. Push on the door.
The door doesn't really give. It was made solid, and in spite of a little bit of warping, it's stayed solid since its creation.
Perhaps Torrin and Aldrich could take care of this one. I'm a bit tired. You understand?
You woke up 20 minutes ago.
I'll take a look at the lock.
Absolutely. So yeah, make an investigation roll. Now, Torrin, there's a certain lack of logic to what you've discovered. But as noted, this door is at least 1,000 years old, probably a lot older than that. The dwarves of Malakin have been extinct for about that time. And yet, while this door shows considerable amounts of age, and while there's no magical protection on it, it looks as if the lock has been, well, it looks as if it's been repaired to absolute perfection, which is kind of impossible. You can't make a 1,000-year-old lock perfect. It's rusty, right? That's just nature. But this one doesn't look like it's been replaced at any stage. It just looks as if the lock is more or less not quite brand new, like at most a month old. But it's the same door, it's the same component, so it just doesn't make any sense. How can the door be 1,000 years old and only a month old? Either the lock's been replaced, or I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense.
All right. Well, I'm suspicious, but I will see if I can open it.
No worries. It's a thieves' tools roll. Beautiful. And you fiddle around with it, but to no avail. A solid, brand new lock, as good as the locks on the doors of most businesses up in Waterdeep above. Roll a d10, Tauren. Okay. So we spend a minute or two here waiting for Tauren to do his thing. He has a bit of a scan, he has a bit of a go, tries again, doesn't work, but no, it's this... I guess it's beyond his skills, it would appear.
Can we blast it down?
Is that a good idea?
You know,
When is it not a good idea? Sorry, Ash?
No, I mean, I would blast it down, but I don't have a focus anymore. Whoops.
Oh, right.
Good point. You hear a tremendous boom reverberating from back the tunnel that you came. It's a long way away. 1,000 feet, 2,000, who knows? A long way back, but boom, and it echo, boom, boom. Keeps echoing for half a minute.
See, Zevram, that sounded like it was a couple thousand feet away at least. And yet we're well aware of it. That's what happens when you blow your way through things.
Right, well, should I have a look at the lock then? I'm not sure what we can do. We could spend hours here just trying to fiddle with it.
Oh, there's no need to spend hours. If you can't get it open now, we'll just head back towards the Goblin Market and go west from there.
Alright. Back the way we came then.
You're not going to give it a go yourself?
You just said we shouldn't.
I said if you can't get it open now. You haven't even tried.
Right, alright. Fine, I'll give it a go. Fine.
By the time you've arrived, Aldrich has... how do you do it, Aldrich? Like, it's easy for you. What do you do? How do you do it?
I look at them squabbling, and as they're going back and forth, I just let out a sigh and just walk up to the door and just kind of do a quick flick of the wrist with my tools and say, "There you go, gentlemen."
Oh. Right. Why didn't you do that, Tauren?
Lucius is just glancing at Zevram with like disgust written on his face.
What? I didn't even try. Tauren's the one that failed.
This room hall has I've just posted a picture in, or I'm posting at least a picture in Discord of some bas reliefs that you will see. So this room, the wall is high, and then at that point they angle inward like a pyramid or some kind of crystal dome to create this 30 feet high ceiling that is peaked. And sloping up the upper walls, there are those now familiar red glowing crystals which are set into the walls and providing a kind of illumination throughout this hall it's kind of dim, but it's enough for you to pick up the images of dwarves pushing mine carts. Most of them, however, have been defaced. In many cases, they've tentacles have been drawn in charcoal or molded with some kind of material that is hardened. And yeah, so that's what you see here. It's there's a bunch of wall carvings, but they've got all tentacles coming out of them that make them look pretty creepy, pretty queer. And here we are. It's a long, wide room that was probably once sacred to the dwarves of old.
Well, if this is anything like the other room with red lights in it, there might be a trap waiting for us.
Why don't you do your mystical dance towards the end of the hall in this one as well, Zevram?
I'm not going to dance again. That was Sanj's idea. Why don't one of you go first this time?
Okay. I'll kind of walk forward.
As you walk forward, those tentacles which are within the bas reliefs reach out to you and attempt to caress.
So, what kind of tentacles are these?
They are stony
fleshy or-
tentacles. Yeah, like what you imagine a roper might look like. An octopus made of solid rock.
I'll take a step the other direction as I see it moving towards me.
They kind of move towards you, but they can't reach you unless I suppose you hope to reach.
No, not really.
And they reach out towards you, but there's sufficient room for you to pass without them being able to caress.
It's kind of stay away from them, I guess.
Hmm. Your footsteps echo down this hall, particularly those of you with hard boots, steel-capped boots. There are a set of doors at the end of the hall, and you also see another set of doors to the south as well. In both cases, they're large double doors. The big dwarven doors that are made of stone that serve as a kind of wall, a fortress wall against invaders like goblins and drow. In both cases, the 20-foot tall double doors have engravings of armored dwarves standing on them with their stony beards that are physically flowing out of their helms, but you can't see their faces behind their helms.
Well,
You want to go this way first?
As good
You
as
can
any.
come back. Hit that other door on the way back.
With your sharp perception, Aldrich, as we sort of stumble through these halls, cautiously but not with any great deal of, care, no one really taking the time to listen out or sample or smell the molds or the local environment. You remain the most perceptive out of anyone. With although your attitude is every bit as casual as theirs, you can hear footsteps beyond this door that seem to get closer and then fade away again. And while you stand there thinking about that for a moment, as everyone else goes up towards this western door, the footsteps come around again, and they're loud for a moment, and then they're faint again. They're very consistent, in the same way as a professional soldier might walk with mechanical precision every single step, taking exactly the same time and distance as the one before.
I'm gonna look to the group and be like, psst, psst.
Oh, and what is it now, Aldrich?
I'm gonna point a motion to the door. I think there's somebody in there.
Perhaps we should check that out first. Make sure we don't get caught on both sides.
I agree. Give me one moment, and I move my sight and hearing into my owl.
Yeah.
Fly him up to here, and I listen very carefully.
Excellent. He can make a perception check with advantage as he strains as best he can. And so first he hears nothing, and he's secretly thinking that humanoids are so paranoid at times. But then it comes around. And it's only there for a few seconds, and then it disappears again. But if he sits here for long enough, like about a minute or so, it comes around again and disappears.
Okay, I move my perception or my awareness back into myself, and so it sounds like there's it sounds like a guard on patrol of some sort, but very regular.
Clockwork.
Possibly.
Like clockwork precision is what I mean, yeah. Like, dead on. Damn. Perfect.
Alright, we'll wait until we hear it again, and then wait a few moments, and then go in after it.
Yeah, that works for me.
Or maybe we could make a noise out here, and the minute it opens the door, we could blast it.
And I sort of shrug and go, true, we could just knock.
Most denizens down here don't want to be disturbed. I think it's better to just wait until it passes, and then we can get a look inside and see what it actually is before firing. If I hear it starting to pass, I'm gonna work on the door, see if it's openable.
Sure.
Like, is it openable, or do I need to?
Right. I see what you mean. Sorry, I thought you meant. Yeah, it's locked. It's a big, massive stone door. Massive stone door with this brass plaque in the middle. Ancient, rusty lock. Yeah.
17.
Excellent. And you've clicked through the mechanics of it, the old deteriorating mechanics, and now you've just got this big, heavy stone door in your way. It's still going to require a fair amount of effort to open, so such a thing can't really be done with any amount of subtlety, not that I can imagine anyway.
Right. Give me a hand here. Let's push on this.
No problem.
Can I give Torrin advantage or help?
Excellent. Absolutely.
I'm
Make an
not
athletics
the
check, excuse me.
strongest person, but I'm happy to try.
Fortune favours the bold. You give it a shove, and you push it open a little bit, enough to see two sets of statues, each of them towering above you, maybe 20 or 30 feet high, of these beautiful, naked elven women. Together they hold one arm out ahead, and the other arm they hold up, pointing towards the other statue to create an arch. But you only get a glimpse of this briefly while you push open the door a crack, and then the force of the door falls back in on you.
We're gonna need some more help here, pushing this open.
Who's got a bit of strength? I've always relied a little more on my reflexes.
Look at Aldrich.
I attempt to help.
Yeah, I can. Shall I assist you this time?
You strain! But these doors were made for stronger men than you.
But step aside, boys. This is clearly a job for a woman.
Okay, sure.
Alright. With all the strength you can muster, Ash. All the strength you can muster, you force it open single-handedly. And, so what you see beyond are, a pair of huge statues. These, the ceiling here is 20, 25 feet high. and there are 4 elves that reach all the way to the roof. Your head reaches about their thigh, maybe the lower thigh, perhaps. And of course, as mentioned before, these women are both lithe and nude. They reach their hands forward with one hand, but their left on the right-hand side, or the right on the left-hand side, those arms reach together, kind of giving a high five. Yeah, that's probably the best description, the gesture of a high five. Between the 4 statues, they altogether make a kind of arch, if you will, a rudimentary passage. Not much of a passage, but you're like a Mayflower parade passage, perhaps. Anyway, that while that they may draw your eye immediately, they don't maintain it for long, because it's the entity that you see in here that its movement would immediately draw your attention, particularly because its footsteps are what's making the noise. First of all, you might see a grey line ingrained into the stone. That's there. That's been worn in there. And as this creature follows its path, you see that it follows that line, or its feet have made it, one of the two. In either case, this entity, this strange entity, looks like nothing so much as a dice, a single die. It's a cube of metal. A cube of metal with spindly little legs and arms that are reminiscent of our Nimblewright friend. It has a pair of angelic wings that, angelic is a generous term. They're toyish at best. But it's wearing a mask, and that mask is of an old, bald, wild-eyed man with a really long, scraggly beard.
Hello there?
The creature is approaching you along its line.
I'm gonna tense up, but I'm not gonna move or anything. I want to get a closer look at this thing.
Yeah, I'll stay away from its line.
It passes straight by you.
I'll cross its line and have a better look at it as it's moving past.
No worries. It continues to follow its trajectory and just keeps going along that. I'm assuming that no one interferes or anything like that, as you've done so far, and just keeps going along its trajectory.
Is that thing?
Now, of course, I remember this clearly, having been on the path the entire way till here. How unusual is it that there were elven statues in a dwarven, what to date has been a dwarven cavern?
We have not seen anything of elvish make other than like ruined armor and shield.
Okay, so of course all right. I knew that, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Speaking of that, though, since you bring it up, there are bas reliefs on this wall that I haven't even mentioned yet, and those bas reliefs are clearly of a kind of elven or a fey aesthetic. They are unicorns and trees that, while beautiful, have lost their leaves.
Did they look like the emblem on that door we found?
Which door?
The stone passageway?
Oh, the gate?
Yeah, the gate.
Oh,
The one that
no.
we don't have a key to.
No.
Well, Lucius is far more interested in observing this construct than he is the actual statues. Would this be, or at least would I be able to I don't even know if it is, but would I be able to recognize it as perhaps a Modron?
Make an Arcana check.
I think it's a Modron.
Well, one of those kind of things. Because we briefly researched them while learning about the Nimblewright.
Okay.
Good call. Probably, possibly, could be some sort of clockwork or some sort of nimble. So yeah, whether it's an automaton or a living creature like a Modron, you're not conclusive. You're not able to, but it certainly could be. Yeah. That mask that it's wearing is a little bit off-putting, though.
Yeah.
So I take a closer look at some of the reliefs and the statues. Does anything here, like, do I recognize anything here? Like, what do these look like? Things I've seen before anywhere?
Sure, make a history check. No, it vaguely reminds you of that famous ruin named Mithranor. But of course, all elven ruins would remind us of the most famous of elven ruins. It's like saying that ancient Egypt reminds us of the pyramid. So it reminds you vaguely of Mithranor. And what was famous about Mithranor were that the elves managed to create a society that was very inclusive. They let everyone in, but one of the reasons why they were able to achieve that was through the creation of a thing called a mythal. And a mythal is a magical bubble, a kind of aquarium for your city that goes all around you, a big magic shield that allows you to control the weather and control fertility and prevent, say, necromancy or demons being summoned in, those sort of things. And while I wouldn't suggest that this is necessarily of that scale of epic magic, it may very well be. And it has that kind of that same ancient aesthetic. If this was built thousands of years ago, the laws of magic were very different back then, and the things that the elves could achieve are far beyond what the laws of magic allow us to achieve today.
So, I have a piece of blue silk, and I'm going to watch this thing coming around. And I'm going to just cover the line with the silk.
Absolutely, and it tramples right over the silk as if it simply weren't.
Rude.
I'll take a closer look. So, this line, upon closer inspection, is it a painted line on the ground, or is it like a groove?
Oh, it's a groove. There's no doubt about it, and it's coincidentally exactly as wide as this thing's footsteps are. In fact, it's not even one single groove, but rather a pair of grooves.
This thing's been, for it to leave grooves in the stone, it must have been wandering in circles like this for at least 100 years.
Yeah, its mask. Does it look like alabaster?
If you squint, if you close your eyes a little bit and maybe have a couple of glasses of wine, then yeah, it looks just like him.
Okay.
But then again, it kind of looks like Gandalf for that matter too, and Saruman. No,
I mean, those two look the same, so.
Old white guy with the long beard. I mean, who can tell them apart, really?
Exactly.
It wouldn't happen to be. What's the mask appear to be made out of? Is it like a painted thing, or is it made out of bronze?
No, it's not a bronze mask, unfortunately.
I thought we'd found the bronze visage.
That'd be neat. So, should we check out the other door before these other hallways?
Well, I'm having a sort of kid watching an anthill moment here, and I'm going to just step in front of it on the line.
It's kind of annoyed, and it kind of like looks for a way past you, and then tries to go through your legs.
I just stand my ground.
Then it goes around you, but it's not happy about it. And it goes back on its line.
No, I run ahead of it and do it.
Oh, look, the second time it frustrates it, and the third time it annoys it. But it keeps walking. But by now it's started to regard you as like, well, a prick. Like it's quite clearly looking at you with some level of animosity. Like get out of my way, man!
I'm annoyed that he's not like doing anything against me. So I'm like, what? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, it says something to you that's is vaguely similar to what Nim might say. You know, cramp.
So
I think he insulted me.
at level 4, when we got feats, I took the Prodigy feat, and you allowed me to learn the language the Nimblerites use to communicate with them.
Excellent.
Would I be able to understand what it was saying?
Possibly. Make an insight check.
So it's like a different dialect of a similar language.
Exactly. It's like trying to program with C when you only know C++. I think that makes sense. I don't know. I'm not.
Not really.
No, really?
Not really.
All right.
C++ just has extra layers added to it. But
Well, that sounds accurate to me. That sounds accurate to me. Anyway, yeah, you're able to get out basically what it's saying, and it probably will be no surprise to learn that it's saying "get out of my way."
Zevram, I'd suggest getting off the line.
Why is it doing it? I don't understand this, and I'm annoyed that I don't understand it, and I want it to stop.
Well, I don't know why it's doing it, but it just said that if you don't get out of the way, it's going to stab you in the kidneys.
I will only stab him in the kidneys if he first attempts to stab me. It corrects you, but it does it in its own language, so only you know that.
So it can understand common.
I'm gonna start
No.
racing it. I'm gonna see if it tries to keep up with me, and I'm just gonna form my own.
So what are you trying to do? Sorry.
I'm racing it.
Oh, right.
I'm making my own goddamn.
Okay. I think that you are able to match it, and after all, it's only taking, it just takes its double move as it moves around. It doesn't seem to be bothered by you mimicking it.
I've lost interest. I'm bored.
You lost interest.
So I walk next to it, but casually, and basically, and say in Elven, "Why are you walking here?"
It briefly regards you, but then continues along its path.
Lucius, you can talk to it. Maybe you could learn about it.
I can kind of understand it. I mean, it's kind of like trying to understand Zevram speaking Elvish if you speak actual Elvish.
Oh.
I resemble that compliment.
And
Hmm?
the statues look like they're holding something in their hands. Is that true?
No, that's just coincidence. They're more just sort of reaching out in a gesture of beckoning, perhaps, and arching with their inner arms.
Maybe we need to hold hands and dance around in a circle.
Yes, you go ahead and do that.
I
I'm
can't do by myself.
gonna try and speak to this thing using the Nimblewright language.
Yeah,
Friend, why are you walking around in circles like?
because I have been commanded to do so.
Would you happen to have a name?
Yes, I always remember my name. It is my primary directive.
What is your name?
My name is Halastron.
So Lucius just ceases talking in this language and just face palms.
Remembering my name is my prime directive.
So why is it that you've been ordered to walk around in this particular?
Walking in a clockwise circle around the caryatid columns while defending myself and the pillars is my quadrary objective.
What's special about these pillars?
These pillars are very special. They restore creatures to life when their flesh has been petrified?
Lucius will turn to the others. We seem to have stumbled upon something rather interesting.
Oh, well, what's that?
The little guy says these pillars can cure someone who's been petrified.
Oh, that's nice.
Can you ask him when the last time someone was cured of petrification here?
When's the last time these statues were used?
Alastair came through and used these exactly 472 hours, 46 minutes, and 7 seconds ago.
Lucius kind of turns back to the others, shivers a bit, and goes, maybe we shouldn't hang around in this room.
You're right. This room is boring. It's full of boring people.
I mean to say Alastair was here just a few weeks ago.
Oh.
Like half a year ago.
Said hours, not years.
Yeah. What was it, 4,000 hours? Is that what you said?
400, I think.
Yeah, 426.
Oh, okay.
It's a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And
Which door? There's a door to the right, there's a door to the left. Well, not so much a door, but a passageway.
Well, we have someone who lives here. We could ask him where the door goes.
The door goes to statues, as Ash is able to see. These are lifelike statues. The ones that you're looking at right now appear to be giant frogmen. 4 of them.
Oh.
I look like I'm shopping and I'm just looking in that room and like, nope,
There's a boar in this one.
nope.
no way. This
There
is
is
I swear.
a constrictor snake on the south,
Yeah.
and you'll go a little bit
No,
further
no.
along and you'll find 3 gricks. Do you want a pet grick? We got 3 of them here. 3 gricks.
Oh.
Is there nothing nice in this menagerie?
A kenku? A kenku's nice? No, they are not nice. Okay.
Can,
Two drow. Oh fuck, we're going downhill fast now. Alright. 25. Well, this is a lizard creature. I would call it a lizard man, but that's because I'm very old fashioned. Dinosaur like it. This one here appears to be a is that Nihilor?
I mean, I don't want to sound racist, but can we tell the difference?
All my players look the same. I mean, that's don't criticize me for saying that. I apologize. But they do to me. Up here, there are 4 giant huge fleas. Well, possibly rust monsters, but I'll call them fleas, so that you'll probably free them and doom yourself.
guys, we need to rescue these fleas. Look at how
This-
cute they are.
They are. This thing is unusual. You haven't seen this critter before. It has 3 legs. 3 legs. There's 3 toes on each leg. A single eye in the middle of its face. It's roughly the size of a gnome and has these hideous teeth in its mouth. There's a queer excitement in the gleam of its eye, and yeah, it kind of looks like this delightful fellow.
Oh,
Hey, this thing looks interesting. We should thaw this thing out.
That's neat. After I do a boar, though,
I
and
think
the snake.
I'm inclined to not let any of this
Oh,
be
but
unpetrified.
look at its big puppy dog eye.
And that big toothy smile.
That's right. It's so small and helpless, like
It
a
just wants
baby.
a hug.
It's got shredding talons for hugging on tight.
I'm gonna begin grinding this thing sideways. Just.
You gonna take it with you?
Yep.
It weighs 80 pounds.
Oh. I probably can't lift that easily, but I will drag it as I take it back towards the statues over
You have
many minutes.
one Nothic statue. No worries, you may add it to your equipment list. These ones up here, they are troglodytes, kind of deep underdark reptilian race that are almost universally reviled. Down to the south, there is a single orc. That orc has a massive dwarven war axe in each, and a string of baby dwarf skulls around his neck, and a kind of necklace chain. Pretty creative, decorative. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you're into that kind of dwarven infanticide art, it's an acquired taste. This one here. Oh, does anyone know what a quaggoth is? Anyone? I love quaggoths.
I've heard it before.
Quaggoths are kind of like humanoid polar bears, but not quite. They're a really unfortunate race. They've got a really bad history because they're kind of surface-dwelling humanoid bears, and everything was great. And then the drow at the dawn of time came and enslaved them, and they've lived in the Underdark as slaves for so long that they've essentially adapted to Underdark life. It's a terrible story. And anyway, that's a quaggoth.
Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, they are. They really are. But because they've grown up in the Underdark, they tend towards savage cannibalism and brutal, regimes of they're a hunter-gatherer society that eats everything. Imagine if grizzly bears had sapience. Sure, they might be nice, but in general, they're going to eat you. Alright, so that's the quaggoth here. Further to the north, there are 6 creatures that on certain planes of existence we call goats. They are a horned beast with 4 legs and cloven hooves, and a unicorn-style beard hanging off their chin, even on the females. Dwarves love that. Exactly.
I love goats.
Could you just liken dwarves to like New Zealanders?
Come on. Alright, and so this is this creature here is about 5 feet tall, carries a rapier in one hand and a parrying dagger in the other. It looks similar to, it's got a humanoid stance, but it's clearly got a long tail without any hair, and furry body and face, and a rat-like head. A were-rat.
I thought it was a Skaven.
Could be a Skaven. Absolutely could be Skaven. They would have to have come from a completely different world. They would have to be in violation of the IP. But it could be a Skaven.
Well, I know which one I'm picking.
Why are you treating this like...
Toys R Us.
I gotta come back and grab the board, start dragging it.
What are you going, a dwarf?
No, I thought you said it was a boar.
A boar. That's what. Yeah, I didn't think there was any dwarves. Yeah, a boar. No worries. Yeah.
Are you hungry for pork for dinner, Ash?
No, I want a friend.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Everyone's just running past me as I'm still dragging this statue.
They see you, and I think that they're vaguely curious. In their hearts, they know they should stop you, but they want to see where this goes.
Before he does anything, I want to have a closer look at the creature he's dragging and try and work out what it is.
Yeah, make an Arcana check.
I'm not stopping for you. I'm keep dragging this thing.
You have a disadvantage on your Arcana check because that's still pretty good. Yeah, so it's a Nothic. It's so difficult to know anything about Nothics because there's very little to know. It's believed, correctly or not, that Nothics aren't a race so much as they are a curse. A Nothic, you know those ancient myths of dwarves getting so greedy that they turn into dragons, or of men becoming so bestial that they turn into minotaurs? Well, they're bullshit. That doesn't happen like that. Dragons and minotaurs aren't created that way. But Nothics may be. That might be. Whether or not Nothics are a true breeding race is perhaps irrelevant. And the rumors that you've heard are that Nothics are created as a magical punishment.
So they're a cautionary tale for wizards. And
a cautionary tale for wizards.
Got too greedy for magical knowledge and got warped into an aberration.
That's a good breakdown of the story. Yeah.
So I put this thing in between the statues because why not? And I look to Lucius. All right, where's the on switch?
I mean, that thing's probably going to try and kill you the second you throw it out. Are you sure you want to do this?
I will talk to it. It looks pleasant enough. Hey, little shithead, come here. I start tapping him on the head as he's walking. Do your
please stop.
Make that statue come alive and do something.
It continues along its path, a little more peeved than it was, judging by the blurts and burts and burts that it makes. You know, they're not very agreeable sounds. But in any case, it doesn't speak in a language that you understand. So, you're not picking up much from it. Lucius, however, is of course picking up its annoyed. Yeah.
I'll address it again, and I'll be like in the language, its own language. You know, look, hear me out here. He really wants to activate these statues, and we both know he's going to get his ass beaten the second he does. So I'm sure you'd enjoy seeing that with the way he's been treating you. So would you mind letting me know how we activate these?
You are incorrect. I would derive no enjoyment from the suffering of another being.
Okay, you've got me there. Really don't know how to... How do you turn these on?
You say the command phrase.
Damn, what's the command phrase?
Elf magic.
Alright. I'm gonna take out a piece of paper and I'm gonna scroll down the words elf magic. And then I'm gonna start walking to the next room and like slap the paper on a statue in front of Zevram.
Huh? What's that? This is like surgeon's handwriting. What's it say? Elf magic.
Is the boar in the circle as well?
Yeah, I'm pushing the boar into the circle.
So let's everyone roll for initiative.
Oh my god.
How do I roll initiative for Gary?
You select his token, go into his sheet, and there's a little dice icon in like the top right hand of the NPC sheet.
If he was
like in it or something, yeah.
It just occurred to me that if he was a raven, he'd be Gary Korvac.
That is indeed true.
The boar is agitated. It doesn't know what the hell to do, and so it runs away. It runs to the corner, and there's nowhere for it to go. So, I guess it runs up here. You get an attack of opportunity if you want one, Ash.
I'll punch.
Torin, I think you need to click your token when you roll initiative. Just do that again, and then add in the first number that you roll.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have made it more difficult. Yes, your token before you roll initiative, and if you haven't done that, do it again, and then you're just able to manually readjust it by clicking on the number in the turn order.
Yeah, I think he goes first.
Yeah, he rolled a 20.
No worries, that's good to know. Cool, I'll just add you in for the time, but we'll
You there, Torin?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't follow the.
Doesn't matter. We'll explain it next time, so it's no problem. But
It
you're
was the
up.
same way you rolled initiative for the owl. You just select your token first, and then you find the word initiative in your character sheet and click on it.
Okay. I guess I thought I had my token selected, but
No, you had the familiars token selected, so it added your initiative to the familiar.
It's all right. It's all set up now.
Yeah, it's no big deal. But most people, it takes them a couple of games to get used to.
Got it.
No worries at all. So yeah, the boar and the Nothic suddenly revert to flesh, and the boar panics. The Nothic, on the other hand, probably panics as well, but it's kind of difficult to tell because it's smiling.
So I notch my longbow, aim at the Nothic, and fire if he does anything hostile.
Excellent. All right. And the boar runs down in the corner, then runs up here and tries to run past Ash. Eldritch.
I'm going to this wall, gonna lean back against it, light a cigar.
The smoke fills your lungs and you enjoy the cancer. Orbit.
Orbit's just holding his position with Lucius, watching Zevram get what he deserves.
Zevram.
Oh my! You look a little less friendly now with some color in your face. I extend my hand and I go, I'm Zevram Malente. Nice to meet you.
Make a persuasion, some sort of charisma check.
I could just do straight charisma if you want.
That'll do. Sort of check. If you've got performance or persuasion, that's good enough. It extends its own clawed hand towards you as well. Give me a moment to see. Yeah, I'll just have a quick review of their abilities.
It's like a kid going outside and picking up a lizard.
Picking up a tarantula.
Yeah.
You speak in common, don't you?
I do.
It says something back to you that sounds vaguely like what you said, but not quite. Kind of the way German and English, have sort of similar sounds in many cases. Ooh, yeah. And so, he seems to greet you as well. Holds out his claw, and and then just when you think you've made a friend, you have to make a charisma deception check.
Okay.
All right, no worries. It looks at you, puzzled but intrigued.
I give it my best toothy drow smile.
It smiles back at you and throws its jaw back, kind of trapdoor style, like a snake trying to swallow its prey.
See? He's friendly. Everyone, nothing to worry about.
Lucius has just got his notepad out, like taking notes, like, let's see how this goes. Put the odds at maybe 60% of Zephyr being eaten.
60%? Give it away, Ash.
Yep. I'll slowly approach the boy and cast Animal Friendship.
All right. Okay. Choose a beast. Blah blah blah.
I'll hold out.
So it gets a wisdom saving throw.
Yep.
Sorry, you were saying you do what? Sorry.
Oh, holding out a piece of food for to cast a spell.
Perfect. What sort of food will you give a boar?
Let's go with like an apple.
Oh, that's good enough. They're omnivores. They'll eat what you bloody well give it. So that should do it, right? Your DC's higher than 12.
Yep, 15.
The pig eats the apple and wiggles its little curly tail at you.
Oh, I would like give him head pats. Scratch me out of the ear.
Yeah, it likes that actually. At first it's a bit, that's a bit weird, but oh man. Yeah, have you ever tried to scratch fleas with a hoof? It's not easy. Yeah, that's good. Good. Trotters don't make the best scratching tools. Yeah, fingers are better.
There you go. Good boy.
Alright, Gary.
Gary's just gonna hang out and watch.
Yeah. I kind of thought he would. Probably goes and sits up on one of the shoulders, gets a bit of a vantage point. It's kind of, you can see everything from up here. All right, Torin, what about you?
I remain deeply suspicious and hang on to my bow, but I don't do anything else.
Beautiful. The pig happily eats its apple and chomps at it and starts sniffling around, picking up what little bits of the apple that it wasn't able to eat in the first place. Yeah, it's pretty happy pig.
Yeah.
Deep pig.
I'm gonna call you Boris.
Boris likes this. All right, Aldrich. That cigar smoke is thick and tasty.
Kind of just shaking my head and just watching the situation unfold.
All but the same. And Zebra?
I sort of, keeping my gaze on him, I sort of look behind me and go into my backpack and I reach in to get a ration.
Uh-huh.
And I hold the ration out to this creature. Yeah, you must be hungry after all that time being stoned. I know I would get the munchies.
It doesn't know enough to facepalm. But it sniffs at your food and then looks you in the eye. Make a deception check.
Okay, just keep doing this. Let's see.
Alright. It opens its eyes wide and it looks at your cloak and it looks back at you. And I assume that we're out of combat, right?
I mean, unless
No?
it starts withering Zevram into a husk or something, I'd say probably.
Okay, cool. Zevram, make a deception. It's angry. Make a deception check. You're inscrutable. It doesn't like you at all.
Do you want to know more about my cloak? It's a silver cloak. We're part of the Grey Force Initiates under the Blackstaff.
Oh, make a deception check.
What are you looking at?
Does anyone speak Undercommon?
Yes, I do.
I do.
Keep your secrets, it says to you.
What? What? Oh, you can speak Undercommon. I learnt in the circus. Madame Navarra said I might need it one day. I'm sorry if I have a bad accent. I'm not holding any secrets. What do you want to know? Well, that's a lot. I don't know if I can tell you everything.
How do we conquer Waterdeep?
Well, I hear that it has something to do with food and ale. I think Durnan's onto something.
How many of the Hidden Lords are still alive?
All of them?
Jane?
Why are you asking these questions? Are you evil?
You said that I could ask questions.
Yes, but, nice questions, not weird questions. You're being weird.
Oh. You look weird.
I am not. Look, I don't want to ruin what could potentially be a good friendship. Why don't you accompany us and you can find out all the secrets for yourself?
Make a persuasion roll. No. Oh, I must get back to my experiments.
Oh. Well, we can take you to your lab. Where is it?
It's around here somewhere.
Well, lead the way.
I'm not sure.
Get there.
Maybe it's through here. I can't remember.
I look to the rest. I can speak with it. He's just looking for secrets. We're going to help him find some secrets.
Okay.
He said
Well,
through here. His lab might be through here.
Curses, it's a door. My greatest weakness, he says, looking at his 3 strong fingers.
Oh, that's all right. I'll get it. Reach down across him and open the door.
Am I a gnome? No, not anymore, he says. Not anymore.
He says he's not a gnome anymore. Or he doesn't gnome anymore. I can't remember.
You hear a roar, and you roll for initiative.
Oh, shit. So, just a quick question. With all those deception checks, was he like trying to probe my mind or something? Would I have
Sort
felt
of.
something?
Yeah, sort of. I can't reveal too much because he's not the only Nothic in Undermountain.
Sure.
I don't want that thing following us because I don't want that. God damn it, Zevram.
So in common, I'm like talking to him as I'm walking through the door as I open it for him. Yeah, I don't know how many of the Hidden Lords are alive. I assume all of them.
Ah, that's a shame. I guess we'll have to try harder.
What? Severin, what are you talking about?
Oh, he wants to know about the hidden lords. Oh, someone moved.
All right.
All right, so that's Ash, right? Ash is up.
Hmm.
So I should have just so what's happening. So we've opened this door. It's a dwarven door, right? And we open it into what might be a laboratory, maybe, right? But it's not a laboratory. It's a big, open, vaulting area that doesn't seem to have been disturbed for. If the air has been stale in most of this wing of Undermountain, the air is more stale here than anywhere else. The only thing that gives the stale air any kind of atmosphere at all is the stench of animal sweat. And even as you wonder what the animal sweat might be, you hear a screech and a roar, which is simultaneously the same thing, much like what a really large and angry griffin might make. And the instant you hear that, you know that there is an agitated beast on the other side. Ash, what do you do?
What's that? And I'll run through the door.
I'm not sure if you can see, can you?
No.
Somewhere in the darkness. Oh, you can? Ah, now you can, yeah. So what you're looking into here, it looks like a room that has lots of sarcophagi or stone tables or something like that, but whatever the case, there's most of them are rubble now. It's pretty much just some things that might have been once made of stone that have been turned to bare rock, crumbled, destroyed perhaps by barbarians with mauls or something, who knows. Whatever the case, the walls have got carvings all around them, and a glance at them reveals pegasi and dryads and leaf and flower motifs, elk, that sort of stuff.
Oh, it's owl bears, guys. We had one of these in my circus. They're crazy animals.
Owlbears.
Owl bears, yeah. They're like super fluffy, like adorable. They're like the best things ever.
Snorbit.
I could not see anything, so. Lucius will move up as well.
Mm-hmm. Gary.
I'll just stop there.
No worry. Toran. It's double movement to go through occupied squares that are your allies. So yeah, keep that in mind if you're going to go through them. It won't matter for your Al though. He's only tiny. He's it's different.
All right, I think I can get as far as there.
Cool. And with a screech, a huge creature comes thundering towards you, or towards the gap that you're standing in, and these big muscular shambling creatures rush into the fray, but the instant one arrives, he takes up most of the area. His great big bulk, far too large to accommodate his friend when he's already getting in there. The other, however, pushes past as best he can, and they all attack. They all go straight for Ash. feeling a little bit of kinship with Gary in a vaguely genetic way. But Ash has the benefit of cover from at least one of the owlbears. So the first one attacks with impunity, bearing down on her, and is able to unleash with all the with a fierce assault, a combination of blows that rain down upon her viciously, massive claws and razor sharp beak. And so it rips into her, and it's quite ineffective. The next one doesn't have the benefit of open space, and so you have +5 to your armor class against these next two attacks.
Yep, those both miss.
All right, so tell us how you defend against this absolute tornado of feathers and fur.
I stand completely still, knowing that owlbears are expecting you to dodge.
They rip everywhere except for where they should be, like knocking the leaves off a tree.
Yep, exactly.
All right, Aldrich, you have just taken a lesson in Zen defense.
I here and I will cast Toll of the Dead to this one.
All right. And he doesn't like your particular flavor of music. And it is painful to his avian mammalian ears. Zevram, this owl's only small, so he's not taking up a lot of space.
Sure. I will move into that spot and attack this one with my sim. And I will also mobile flourish.
Feathers and fur fly.
My roll
But it's
just started lagging, so
Oh, right.
what's going on? There we go. So push it 10 feet back.
All right, cool.
And then I will follow into it here.
Into the breach.
Yep. And I will once again, because I have extra attack now, that'll land.
Yeah.
And I will defensive flourish with that.
Excellent, excellent.
So I have 27 AC right now.
Oh, right. That's massive. Okay, cool. Yeah, the second one only just came up for me. So that's another 15 on top of the first 9, right?
So it's 16 and then another, 15.
Oh, 16 and then 15,
damage.
so 31. Oh, my God. Right, okay. Yeah, okay, yeah. So those couple of strikes are brutal, and they go so deep that you cut straight through the fur and the feathers and even the flesh, and start opening it up to critical injuries right from the start. A brutal blow, or a brutal succession of blows. All right, I think that puts us back at the top of the roster.
Yep. I will move down to and we'll attempt to jump on the back of the owlbear.
I've got a plane flying overhead. Didn't hear a word you said. What was that?
No, I'm going to try to mount the owlbear.
Okay, no worries. Make an athletics roll to climb on top of it.
Athletics or acrobatics? Or?
Yeah, sure, acrobatics is good. Just you basically run up its back. Okay, yeah, you are mounting it. Now make an animal handling check to stay on. Okay, you are riding the owlbear. You are bareback. Oh my god, I didn't even mean that one. That was fantastic. Owl. Anyway, I didn't mean that one. So Orbit. Yeah, so yeah, you may add one owlbear to your equipment list.
Sweet.
Or it adds you to its equipment list more accurately.
Yeah, that's probably awesome right now.
Alright, so which one is Ash on top of?
The one
This one. Alright. Orbit will blast the bottom.
Okay, with our magic missiles, are they? Oh, dazing rays, of course they. Wisdom dex. Boom, boom. These are circus owlbears, and they are trained to dodge magical rays.
Yeah, I guess they're not afraid of beholders.
Apparently not. There's just some of the most dangerous creatures ever bred by wizards. Owlbears.
Shoot the bottom one.
Boom. It's a devastating blow, and it sets it on fire. The creature roars in agony, and you can see the burning flesh exposed underneath.
It almost smells like chicken.
Gary Strigaform.
Okay, I sort of whistle and Gary goes, flies over and past the owlbear in front of him, and as he does so, harasses it with a help action.
Beautiful. So that means it's the next attack that has the benefit. Is that how? Or do you have to help a specific person, don't you? How's the help work?
Helping me, so I'm going to run in and on my turn next,
Excellent.
I'll run in and attack.
Beautiful, beautiful. So it provides help for you.
I don't want to be that guy, but I think your owl needs to be within 5 feet of you to use the help action.
If that's the rule, then that's the rule. So to engage in the help action, you need to be within 5 feet of your ally, unless you've got a specific ability to do so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Helping from afar is something like
Mastermind
rogues can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that mean if Gary stays nearby, is it okay, or he just can't?
Yeah.
Wasn't next to, or he just wasn't next to him.
Yeah, that's right. So you'll have to put your owl next to yourself, and presumably next to the owl as well. Is that right?
It doesn't have to be within 5 feet of them. He has to be 5 feet within 5 feet of himself or the target. So it can work with range attacks if he's 5 feet from the owlbear.
Okay, cool. So you basically you have to position Gary in a place where he is threatening the owlbear, essentially.
All right, so I'll just leave him where he's. Gary will just stay where he was, pretty much, or move up a little bit. Then I'll move into that spot.
No problems at all. So you're occupying the same square, and you've got advantage on your attack. Cool. It's good to sort that in. And the precision with which you land your blow is majestic.
And second attack.
Yep. That'll hit. And it's the second blow that finishes the creature off. A great hulking monstrosity dies at the edge of your blade. How do you what does your succession of blows look like that kills this thing?
So I do 2 precise blows, sort of straight into its chest, trying to strike the heart. And as soon as it collapses from the second, I feed Gary a little owl treat.
Beautiful. Cannibalism it is not, because it is not exactly the same species. Kind of like us eating monkeys. Anyway.
Doesn't that give you like a lot of diseases?
Well, yes, but eating anything in a dungeon is likely to do that.
Oh, okay.
Alright. And so you hear the roar of more creatures as they emerge from deeper within the den. And with a screech and a squeal and a scream, they hurtle themselves towards you with a kind of reckless abandon, a furious avalanche of flesh and of fur, and the number of owlbears significantly increases. So the one that's trying to attack, the one that's being ridden by Ash, tries to buck her off. Make an animal handling check against its strength roll.
Yep.
Oh, just barely.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sure you didn't mean that one either.
I did not. Ow. And so you take 4 points of damage as it kicks you off, and then begins to sort of gnaw into you. But that happens next round. Meanwhile, this one that has just advanced from the northern section finds Zevram and releases its wrath onto him. But neither will land. And so there's now a flurry of feathers and of fur and blood and roars and squeals and squeaks and the sounds of rocks being disturbed and pushed apart. It's alive. It's very... Undermountain is alive. Aldrich.
Some smoke come out of my nose as I hold up my holy symbol and once again cast Toll of the Dead to the same one.
Alright, already injured. It is affected to a much larger degree this time. And the one that just bucked Ash off begins to wither. Many of its feathers just grey and fall out, brittle and broken, along with its fur. It seems to age a decade in an instant.
And then I'm gonna just pop right here and end my turn.
Brilliant, Mr. Elintia.
Alright, I will first of all cast my Moonlight spell, Hex, on...
Don't blame it on the moonlight.
Blame it on the boogie. I will then proceed to attack that one as well.
You could position your moonlight right here.
No, not
Moonbeam.
not Moonbeam. Moonlight is my reskinned Hex.
Of course it is. I thought you were gonna. I was hoping you'd blast yourself. That would look awesome. It's like Highlander, that sort of stuff. That's the quickening right there. All right. Anyway, 12 does not. Its feathers are as hard as bone.
I used the wrong thing there as well. So 20. Does that hit?
Oh yeah.
And defensive flourish with that one again.
So sorry, which spell is that reskin?
Hex.
Hex. No worries.
So I'll do the damage for that
Moon
as well.
hex.
So 13 damage. All.
Cool. And the owlbear is furious and it doesn't understand why you aren't dying because you're smaller than it is. And Ash, there's a lot of fur flying, a lot of feathers, and a lot of fury.
Well, being stubborn and without any other options, I would have tried doing it again.
Excellent. Okay, animal handling check again. Beautiful. And this time, no matter how hard it bucks, you are staying on. In your orbit. Dex and strength.
The wounded one.
Well, there's 2 wounded ones right now.
one that has the nuclear sign on it.
Okay.
No worries.
Nice.
So yeah, it gets hit with a frost ray and then banged across the room 30.
30 feet. Boom! Smash! Crunch! The owlbear shakes its head. It has no idea what just happened then.
There's a lot of firepower in the little guy.
If it's medium or smaller.
Oh fuck!
Ah,
yeah.
nicely ruled.
Whoop.
Whoop. It digs its claws in and then like launches itself back, catapult stuff.
There you go.
Alright, now. Let me see something.
I wonder what that is.
Yeah, I wonder what that is.
Fried chicken.
As I cast Fireball.
Alright. Clockwise from nuclear owlbear. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one down the bottom saves.
Yeah, so 14 points for the one that saved, 29 for all the rest.
Alright. The one that attacked Zevram unsuccessfully was uninjured at this point, but he's now fairly char-grilled. The one that had already taken a fair few wounds is it's looking like it's on death's door. Third-degree burns and open wounds. You could leave it alone, and it's likely to die from blood loss soon enough. The one in the rear is not badly taken at all. It manages to avoid the worst of the blast due to piles of rubble absorbing most of the explosion. And the one that Ash is riding is all but slain, driven into a mad, wild frenzy. The sort of frenzy that a man has when he is on fire.
So desperation?
Yeah, that's right. Just primal instinct. Gary, yeah, I don't know if like this is traumatic for you. I don't know. Like, do you need a moment? Can you bear it?
He's gonna sweep ahead, assist me in attacking the owlbear in front of me.
Excellent.
Then I attack.
Beautiful. You have advantage. Thanks to the distraction of your pet.
I'm assuming 26 hits.
Sure does. The help action, will that give you like advantage on both attacks?
No,
just the next attack.
Just the first one, I thought so. Okay. It doesn't matter. In either case, it slays it. I just wanted to make that. Yeah, cool. So you drive your blade through it, and the mighty beast is felled by your slender blade.
Okay, then I take it one step up to here. And then I do a second attack, this time with Green Flame Blade, to the one that's being ridden.
Excellent. Murder, she wrote.
So that is 11 damage to the one I attacked, and then an additional 4 to the other one.
Gotta love war magic.
Sorry?
I just say you gotta love war magic.
Ah, yeah.
Your Eldritch Knight ability.
Yeah, it's a good class. It's an underrated class, I think. Yeah. Anyway, you slay the owlbear with ease, dispatching 2 in a series of seconds, and then your flame leaps from your target to the next, and Ash gently falls to the ground, her fall cushioned by, well, a giant quilt of feather and fur.
Well done, owlbear. It's like lying on a bed of KFC.
Not inaccurate.
Without
And the
herbs and spices.
That's it. The remaining 2 charge, having not been bred for their pacificity or even sensibility. Owlbears are a violent berserker race, and their fear of death is almost null. They run in, and one strikes at Ash, and the other at Tauren. Those first 2 attacks on Ash, and the second 2 on Tauren.
One of those hits.
Both of those hit me.
Clearly they have been driven into an absolute frenzy and fury, a bloodthirst, nothing less, as you kill their own kin, and their mighty ragged claws and their razor-sharp beaks just rip into you, and sure enough, they do get some measure of vengeance. Aldrich, you're a little bit jealous because everyone else is getting hurt and you're not.
Step up right here, and then I cast. They both been damaged.
Yep.
Cast Toll of the Dead, the one that's right at Ash.
Excellent.
Don't forget you can Reaper that.
Oh yeah, I forgot my own fucking abilities.
The Reaper means he just can target 2 people or 2 creatures with that.
Oh, yeah. Cool. And DC 15, so 1 saves, 1 does not. 12 damage for the injured one. A bit of... Yeah, cool. So 12 damage to the injured one, and it doesn't bring it down. But in their frenzy, they appear like giant sharks leaping out of the water. They're just an absolute tornado of devastation. And you ring your bell. You ring it loud and violent, and you're able to roll a d10. Excellent. Wonders what the hell that noise was, and he's kind of glad that it's like hanging back for him. Oh, sorry, Zebram, your go.
Oh, right, yep, okay. Just step into the void here, and first, bonus action to bring my hex onto the... I'll strike at him first. So 14 damage.
Excellent. On the lower one?
Yeah, on the south one, and if it's still alive, I'll use my second attack on it.
14 damage. It causes it to collapse. It gives up the ghost. It lies there on the ground with milk in its eye and blood in its jaws, and kind of squawks at you and squeaks at you like a starving chicken.
I will put it out of its misery.
Very well. You have advantage on the attack. Owlbear no more. You're standing on a mound of flesh at the moment, Ash. It's the body's all over the place.
Mr. Owlbear, if you just calm down, we can heal you, and there's no need to fight us. We're only trying to defend ourselves. That's all I'm gonna do.
No worries. You may make a persuasion roll at disadvantage. The owlbear wants none of your honeyed words. All but owlbear's bane.
He fucking loves rolling that frost ray.
That was his frost ray. Is that a dex save?
Yeah, dex and wisdom.
Alright.
8 points of cold damage, and he is dazed. Half
Okay.
speed and disadvantage on attack roll.
Very good. Lucius.
Kind of glance at it. He doesn't think he needs to do anything at this point.
The commoners have got this, Lucius. No need to break a sweat.
Exactly.
Gary of the big eyes.
Alright, Gary swoops in, distracts the owlbear, and then I step in
Bear is angry.
and attack it with green flame.
Alright. It's an excellent blow. And, but only a glancing hit in the end.
Who
So
are you
9
hitting?
in total.
The 5. Within 5 feet.
That's he can choose the target.
Yeah,
It's not you.
I was
No,
I
actually
believe
you
the
don't
second
get
target
back.
I believe is optional if I don't, as long as I don't
Nope.
select
It
one.
is. It's mandatory.
It is.
The second target is the primary focus of the spell.
Oh, alright. I didn't realize that. I thought you could
Yeah.
choose. In which case I wouldn't have done green flame.
No worries. No worries. Yeah, no, I'm not familiar with that rule, but like, if someone's pretty confident of it, then I'm happy to, until it's disproven, to go with that.
Yeah, because until level 5, the only damage it does or adds is to a second target.
Mm-hmm.
So I just... Nah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. The spell functions a certain way until level 5, and then it functions differently.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. As I said, I'm more than happy for that to be the ruling, unless it's contradicted. All right, and so the owlbear, feeling angry and betrayed that one of its own kin would turn on it like this, focuses both of its attacks on Gary. Both are at disadvantage. Does 13 hit?
I'm checking. AC is 11, so that would hit.
He has swallowed your owl whole, and it dematerializes instantly. It turns its second attack towards Ash. But it's feeble and a little bit sorry. Alright, Aldrich.
And with my legal authority,
Yeah, here we go.
I'm going to do something a little bit different and cast Toll of the Dead.
Wait a minute.
Alright. Boom.
If if you abuse this power. However, your superiors might strip it from you. How have you not been stripped of this yet?
Well, if the Church of Leviathan given it to me, I don't know how I can abuse it.
You have destroyed it. Your legal authority proved too much for his criminal lifestyle. There are a dozen elven sarcophagi arranged around this dusty room, but they've been reduced to rubble. There are carvings on the wall, and time and neglect has all but destroyed them. But if you look hard enough, you might spot elk. Or maybe they're pegasi, or maybe griffins. I'm not really sure. But and there's a forest, and one thing you are sure is the forest is in different seasons. One wall is winter, and one is summer, and I guess that makes that one spring and that one autumn. But yeah, the inscriptions have faded. The sarcophagi have crumbled. Malerkin is an ancient ruin. The dwarves were here. The dwarves died out 2,000 years ago. But the elves died out in the dawn of time.
First things first, is everyone alright? Few of you seem to have took quite the beating.
I'm at about half health. I'm pretty beat.
Well, I haven't got much healing, but I can offer you a little bit.
You don't need
if we
to
want,
heal me.
I can recuperate for a bit if we want to take a short rest.
In here, with all the owl bodies and crypts, sure, alright. That seems fine, I guess.
If you're willing to pay rent, says the Nothic in Undercommon, you may stay here in my arcane chamber.
This is yours, is it?
Yes.
I'm gonna look him straight in the eye and
Make a deception saving check. Curse you!
How did he lose against a nat 1?
He's a lying drow. That's how.
yeah, I'm gonna
Oh
look
my
him
God.
straight in the eye and say, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, I'm just positive. Make an insight check.
Now he has to roll deception.
He's never seen this place in his life.
I think you're fibbing.
Well, it's not sure what to do, but it's considering attacking you. It's just not sure, like, it should or not. Maybe. Should I kill him now? There's an awful lot of. Goes over here and thinks about it a little more.
Yeah, you can think about it. I'm gonna go explore, see if there's somewhere that's not full of owl. Oh, in here there's a few chairs we can prop up and sit on.
These tables look pretty much destroyed. They're stone tables, and pretty much they've just turned to rock. You could find some fairly comfortable rocks to sit on, but they're pretty much ruined. There are also ceramic shards all over the place, and a kind of ash or a dust which coats the floor. Broken ceramic, chunks of stone. This might have once been furniture of a Stone Age variety or of a Bronze Age variety, but it's rubble now.
I start dusting it off, see if I can, at least prop it up for something to lean on for the guys that are injured.
Before I go with them into that room, I'm gonna run back up here and that that explosion from earlier kind of has me suspicious, so I'm just gonna peek my head in this room real quick to see if anything is coming through, or do I hear sounds beyond that circling droid?
Make a perception check. It's dead quiet up there. Hey, it's so quiet. That smell of burnt rock lingers, but that's about it. It's the only sounds that you can hear are coming from the west, where the pigs rooting around and the party are kicking over rocks and rubble, and the north mumbling and chittering to himself. But to the north, nothing.
Did the owlbears have like a nest or anything in one of these rooms?
Good question. And make a survival roll or an investigation roll.
Rather, I'm going to suggest that Ash, who is familiar with beasts, looks around.
Sure. I can
Ask,
take a look
yeah.
around. Investigate or survival, you said?
Yeah, either of them. No evidence of either. It looks like they, made some sort of nest here in this room that we've just been in, this new room. But they've been here no more than a day or two. There's no evidence whatsoever that they've been lairing here.
Are these closed sarcophaguses?
Not even closed. They're mostly just rubble. So every single one of them is broken open. There's sand and stone, but nothing else that you can see.
Are there skeletons in them?
You don't see any, but if you rifle through the grave sand, there might be.
I'm gonna get out my flute and begin playing just a very low tune for the people resting.
So should we assume we've been here long enough to hit dice?
Absolutely not. So, over the first 5 or 10 minutes of you guys sitting down and getting relaxed and beginning to recover, you become aware of patches of blood and of fur up around here. It looks like there is a trail of viscera, or maybe viscera is a strong word. Yeah, there's a trail of blood and fur. Predominantly right here in this kind of right angle corner, but there's a little bit here and a little bit in the room that you're in as well.
Does it look like drag marks, or?
Make an investigation. The feathers looked they were absolutely crushed. In some cases they were ground into flour. Just 1,000 pounds of pressure applied to them and just crushed. And it looks like some large creature took a pretty big injury, right, and molted a bunch of its feathers as a result. But it didn't kill them, and they were able to hobble back into this room.
What do you think about all of this? Should we have a look, see if there is something dangerous nearby?
It may also be a trap.
Looks like a elaborate trap if they're making it look like something crawled in here.
No, I mean the owlbear may have triggered a trap.
Oh, I see.
I suggest we finish resting first and then investigate.
Well, I don't need to rest, but I'll have a look ahead while you rest. Invisible, of course. As I give the ring on my finger a turn and turn invisible.
Alright, so you're moving up ahead, make a stealth roll. Well, what did you get?
20.
Okay, cool, that's pretty good. So you see a long hall. Before you go too far, I haven't described this hall for you yet, I was
Sure.
over somewhere else. You're walking up a slope. So you're walking up a kind of ramp that sits at about a 30-degree angle. Yeah.
Well, while I'm going up this ramp, I'm just looking around for, as Torrin said, any traps that may have been triggered.
Yeah, cool. Make an investigation roll. Yeah. Unless you've got something specific in mind.
No.
Yeah. So it looks pretty clear. There's nothing to worry about. It's perfectly safe. There's until you step where you step, and right where you are, you've activated a pressure plate. A hole in the roof up ahead opens up, and there is a tremendous crunch, as what seems to be an eyeball, some 10 foot tall and 10 foot wide, begins to careen towards you at an extremely rapid pace. Now let's roll for initiative.
Okay.
Just him or the people in the room as well?
It's up to you guys. Yeah, like you're a fair way away, but it's up to you. Okay, Zevram, you win. Whoops, I nearly cleared it. You win. What do you do?
So can you give me a brief description of this eyeball? That's
10 foot tall, 10 foot wide. Crunch. It sounds large. And it's rolling towards you coming down the slope. It's just dropped straight out of the roof. It takes up pretty much the passage are like 10 foot tall, 10 foot wide, and the sphere, the eyeball is that big as well. It's bloodshot. It's a bloodshot eye. You may have seen something similar to this on a much smaller scale earlier, I think.
Yeah, so with my just brief description of it, does it look like I might be able to fit over the top of it or under it to the side?
Potentially, because it's a square passage and it's a spherical object. A slim guy like you who works out regularly could possibly, slip underneath through one of the bottom corners.
Okay, I would like to throw my backpack to this side, and I want to press myself against this side as tight as I can towards.
Cool. I'll count that as a dodge roll. As it comes careening towards you, you get advantage on your dexterity saving. Okay. All right. Yep. So that's perfect. Okay. Yeah, it rolls past you, and it misses within inches, possibly like knocking the hood off your head or something, and then just keeps rolling and rolling. Now you guys hear something approaching, some great thunderous noise. You go down here, you're resting, and this is going to disturb your rest if you take any actions. What do you do?
Zevram, what the fuck's going on up there?
I just watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna run after the ball, I guess. Just slightly behind. I'm not sure if I would actually hear you over the din of this
Probably not.
bull.
Crunch! It hits the wall here and bounces. Bounces sort of back against this wall and back against this wall. Kind of comes to settle around it.
I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alive. Nothing to worry about.
Do you have to trigger traps every time you leave us?
Well, I can let you trigger them if you like.
I just yell out, "Thanks for clearing the hallway."
No problem. I start looking at this ball, like, what the fuck is this thing?
What are you doing? Where'd
Just
you even
playing.
get that?
It's not like I picked it up. It came down rolling towards me. It barely missed me.
Is it alive?
I poke it, see if it's alive.
No, it's solid stone. It's just been painted.
No, looks like some kid's art project.
That's a big art project. Hope they got a good grade.
I sort of push on it just to get it into the corner so I can squeeze.
So what I want to know is, who reset that after it smacked the owlbear?
Probably reset itself.
Ooh,
This place is weird.
I know this one. A wizard once told me about these things called magnets. Not sure how they work though.
It winks out of existence, so I guess that's how magnets work.
Well,
Oh
that
man, now
explains
the
that.
trap's set again. So everyone
Matt.
activated again.
What? I'm not doing that again.
Well, we need to get by it. How else do you want to get by it?
Well, we know what's ahead now, and we can trust that the trap will stop anything that comes for us from this direction. Right? So we should feel safer taking a rest now.
I mean, it didn't stop you.
Yes, but I don't need a rest. I wanted to scout ahead.
That's not my point, but okay.
Alright. Toron, roll a d10. Cool. We put our feet up, and we're a little bit on edge. we get what's shut eye we can for 5 or 10 minutes. Pick through the iron rations and tell anecdotes or possibly exchange insults. But after an hour, we're feeling a little bit better spirits, a little bit better physically. You've had your short rest.
Alright, so how does Song of Rest work here?
I'm not sure. Anyone play a bard?
What was that?
Okay, so over a short rest, you regain, if you use any hit dice, you regain 1d6 on top of the hit dice.
Okay. Hang on, that is not correct. I'm a D10, not a D4.
Yeah, that's odd.
One.
Normally, hit dice. It normally gets that formula correct. So
At the top of your sheet, do you have class selected?
Yes. I'll just do it manually a second.
Yeah.
yeah, man, absolutely.
Okay, so that's 18. That's good. I'll stick with 25.
Did you roll your d6 from me?
I did.
Alright.
I'm all set.
Cool, cool. Alright, the place is quiet. Except for the pig.
Where did that creature go?
Oh, which one?
Back in the previous room, it looked like it was scheming about how to hurt Zevram.
What? Of course it wasn't. I'm the one that set it free.
Sure you did, buddy.
Well, whatever the case, it's always looking at me weird.
How did you dodge that rolling rock, Zephyr?
I pressed myself against the wall, but it might be a little different for one such as you in your, your chainmail.
Large genitals, I mean.
Look, what I can do is I can try and trigger it again. Or maybe we have some time, who knows. And then you guys run after me. I'll put my backpack down now. Someone look after that. I'm gonna leave it here until I'm done.
I mean, I'd prefer not to trigger any traps.
Too late. I start running up. And as I'm running up, I'm watching where that ball appeared from, and as soon as it appears, I'm going to do the same thing.
And bam, right here. And, yeah. Roll for initiative.
Scared. It's exactly the same as before.
Beautiful. And so, yeah, dexterity saving throw with advantage, presumably you're dodging.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful. It passes on by. Rolls and crashes, bounces back, and settles around about.
Alright, it's safe. Come up.
I guess I'll attempt to push this rock up.
Yep, yeah, it rolls, easily until it hits this slope, and then it doesn't really have many places to go,
I think we can squeeze by here. Around the corner real quick.
The door's a little bit apprehensive.
Come on, Boris, you can do it.
Okay, animal handling check. Yeah, Boris trusts you. I mean, this dungeon sucks. I'm not staying down here alone.
Exactly. Gonna get you a nice pen, get you a cute swine.
Cool. Like, can we have mud? Can we have a mud bath?
Oh, of course.
Good.
Oh, thank
I don't
God.
sweat
We found the toilets, and I begin unzipping.
The relief is palpable. These are six slanted stone tables. As Zevram has discovered, each of the stone tables ends in a bowl. It appears that the edge of each of the tables has a groove, kind of like an irrigation channel or a guttering or something, and that a bowl at the end, one of which Bolt has a collection of urine that is half human and half drow.
Oh, God damn it, Zevram, I don't think they're toilets.
They are now.
Little bits of flakes of red rise to the surface on your little well of urine. Little rusty red flake.
Oh God,
Yeah,
am I bleeding?
I check out the basins for hints of old or blood stains.
Excellent. You have an advantage on your investigation roll due to the specificity. These are, they are most certainly once collected blood. Every single one of them has the dried, rust-brown flakes of hemoglobin that is evaporated. And those blood is also found in the channels and to a lesser degree on the surface of the slabs as well. And those of you with a religious bent, i.e. Aldrich, would know exactly what these are because your temple uses these things. These are bloodletting chambers. It's like a sacrificial altar, more or less.
Yeah, these are not toilets, Ephraim. These are bloodletting chambers.
People keep telling me, but it feels just as good as a toilet.
I am.
You cut out there. What?
I'm kind of curious. Going to just cut my hand with this small incision and just kind of squeeze it above one of them and let it drip and see if anything happens.
Yeah. Make a religion roll. There is no effect. But you look a little bit closer on these slabs of stone and you see that they have the remnants of shackles here, old leather straps and rusted chains. Yeah, it looks like the purpose for these were to bind people down and then draw blood from them that way, rather than just the casual approach you took.
Is there any religious symbols around here that shows what god this was used for?
It was your own. He's the Leviathan slab.
Kind of look at Zevram with an angry look, like you just pissed in a Leviathan.
What's the matter? What are you looking at?
These are used for religious purposes for my god, and you just pissed on it.
Oh. Well, you pissed on that mask statue.
That's because the mask is a bitch. Shit god.
Your words, not mine.
And I vomited, not pissed.
What's the difference? It's an expulsion of some sort. Well, look, I'm sorry, alright? But it offered me some relief, so I guess Leviathan ended my suffering.
Can't fault that.
I don't know what to say.
I don't think that's how it works.
Well, hold on. If this is to your god, Aldrich, then does that mean we might be close to your temple?
Wasn't that on the first floor?
Yeah, we know where the temple is, Zavram. We're just haven't gone there yet.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm sure we'll get there eventually. Not that we need to, but we should. Just saying. We have things to do there.
Yeah.
You can hear rats scurrying up ahead. There are rats in this room, only a handful, not some great swarm, and the rats aren't particularly large either. Garden variety, 6-8 inches long perhaps. And this room looks like it was once a study. There is a makeshift desk, but that desk consists of nothing more than a sarcophagus lid propped up on a pair of uneven boulders. There are a whole bunch of dusty books and lying around which have been reduced to nothing but a few pages. And even those pages have become food for the rats. In addition to the rat-chewed pages that lie strewn around this room, covered in dirt and dust and feces, there are a bunch of niches in the wall, little alcoves, the sort of place that you might fit a vase of flowers or something. And some of these niches have tall alabaster, which is white, tall white funerary urns, and those urns are covered in cobwebs and dust, and the rats are hiding behind them in some cases. There's at least a dozen of them, and almost as many seem to have fallen out of the niches and smashed against the floor, leaving piles of ash and dust, making this whole place a mess.
Fuck off, Lucius is kind of starts smacking any rats away from the books with his crook.
Oh man, you pick up a copy of Power Word, but you can't read the rest because it's been eaten. Power Word rat.
Turn around and just fucking incinerate one of the rats out of...
The rat god up in the rat heaven curses you and promises vengeance upon you, and he sends his warriors to slay you.
Not scared of any dirty Skaven.
These guys are mean.
Got that tolling bell. Anyway.
I'm gonna start flicking through the books and using mending on any that are in one piece, and then prestidigitation to get all the dust off.
I don't know if it makes him happy or if it makes him sad, but in either case, you manage to get together as much of the lost notes of Shin Shaba that you can.
Of Shin Shaba.
Some wizard.
Why is that name familiar?
Because it sounds like shenanigans?
I was thinking more shish kebab.
Ah.
There's 2 good spells in there.
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, I've got all of them except I think 1 or 2, but still good.
I think Crown of Madness is one that could be interesting.
Alright, yeah, I'll pick that up. Are there any other books there, or is it just their spell book that's salvageable?
Yeah, not even. This isn't even a spell book. These are just a bunch of notes that you cobble together, and all in all, that's pretty much what you find. Everything else is destroyed. There are books on the subject of alchemy and history, particularly dwarven history, elven history, engineering and gemcraft, the study of various monsters, particularly dungeon monsters, predicting the weather and manipulating it. But each of these tomes is only 5 to 10% of the text has survived. Yes. Yeah, it was probably once quite a lot.
I'm firebolt another rat out of spite.
What are you checking, sorry?
This northern wall here. Just feeling around, see if I can find anything.
Yeah, no worries. Make an investigation. You have advantage since you're specifying what you're doing. There's nothing there, you say, and then you rest and lean against it. Oh, whoa, shit! And you've fallen through the wall. You're in a room by yourself as the panel, spins back around and closes once again, and you find yourself in a room that is shared. You're not alone in here. You're next to a dead guy.
Oh, nice.
He has horns and rotting leather armor, plus he's got a quarterstaff! And a ratty tattered backpack.
Nice. Anything in the backpack?
Nothing salvageable, maybe a metal fork, and the rest of it is all just mold and cockroach.
Who's a what's it?
A fork, a metal fork.
Sorry, I was trying.
Yeah, right.
From Little Mermaid.
Alright, get it, yeah.
Guys, there?
Knock, knock, knock. You can hear a sound, and of course, Ash just disappeared right beside you, Torvin.
Oh god, Ash has been eaten by a wall mimic. Quick!
Whacking the wall a little bit.
Someone!
Whack! Whoa! Hey, back.
Guys, you gotta do this. You gotta lean your back up against it and just kind of let everything go.
What? She's gone.
I follow in.
You're sharing a room with a corpse. It doesn't have a quarterstaff anymore.
This isn't fun at all. There's dead people in here.
So I see if I can just make the door sort of spin halfway.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're looking into this room. It's pretty bare. There's not much in there. There's a door on the other side. A skeleton. That's about it.
Well, I guess we continue on this way. I don't think there was much in the other room.
Yeah, alright. I'll follow them through.
We have a friend in here. His name's Steve.
Alright, well, let's see if this door functions.
You're on the locked side, so you can unlock it, quite freely.
Oh, Torin, perhaps you'd like to do the honors.
Just a matter of switching the latch to unlocked. Nothing challenging about it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're on the side of the locked door. Yeah, the lock is on your side. There's a staircase up ahead. You'll notice as you go around the corner, it leads down.
Down.
Yeah. You're on a raved part here. That's right.
We did just go up a ramp, didn't we? So
You did.
Okay.
It's a rather steep staircase. Going further down than it does across. Each step reaches 2 feet down for every 1 foot across. It's very steep. And if you're not mistaken, that is. Hey, that thing hangs from the sky, right? Like a museum piece. You ever seen a blue whale at a museum? Right? Yeah. But here, we have magnificent dragons. Huge. That must be 50 feet in length and twice that in wingspan. Hanging from the sky like chandeliers from these rusty chains. That sway a little and creak a little as you guys come in and stir up the dust, and the passing of your bodies generates a little bit of wind.
Huh. These things are bigger than Xenophon.
Xenophon, it's a dragon that Zervrum is fucking terrified of.
I'm not. I mean, that stupid dragon gave us gold.
Stupid. I seem to remember last time we saw him, you tried to steal from his hoard and he went on to beat the shit out of you. Quite literally.
No, I escaped by dodging his blast attack, and it blasted me out of the water. It's not what happened at all.
I seem to remember seeing you get thrown through the side of a shipwreck and out the other side.
Yeah, well, he threw a chest at us and he missed, and now we have gold, so there's that.
Whatever, Zevram. Anyway, Xenophon is I believe, copper dragon. Just living in the harbor.
Bronze? Did you not get a look at his scales?
Bronze, copper, same thing.
So,
dare
do
you.
I have any idea what sort of dragons these are?
Sure, make a history check.
I have no idea.
Yeah, not really, but they are definitely distinct. Each of them has a different style of skull. This southern one is a lot more serpentine than the others. Yeah, each of them, they appear to be quite different. If you knew about monsters, you'd suggest they were different species. I can't believe this hasn't maybe thinking that before, but that is exactly what it is. This is totally where Robert Baratheon stashed all the dragons. He didn't want to see them there.
See, they're getting smaller as we're going deeper.
They are. They are. And the smallest one is no bigger than Boris.
Mhm.
This is one of those a big dwarven door. A pair of dwarven warriors look at you grimly. The door opens up towards you, and there are a pair of handles that presumably you could pull on.
I check it to see if it's locked.
Excellent. Investigate. It is not, no. However, you do spot a dull red light glowing on the other side.
I listen closely at the door.
Great idea. Perception.
Did this just loop around to the corridor full of lights?
It's
believe so.
quiet, but it smells. It smells like burnt rock.
I am wondering if this is the same door we saw from the other side. Alright, can I open the door?
It's tough, and it takes a bit of a yank. So make your athletics roll.
That's
Anyone-
gonna go well.
If anyone gives you assistance, then you'll have advantage. But if
No, you got this.
you got it.
I'll help him.
Alright.
By the time you arrive, he's done it himself. This room has lots of little guide lights, little red lights that line the walls. There are also statues, sorry, not statues, but bas reliefs of dwarves that have been desecrated, and the tentacles lurching out from the walls. The roof is the walls climb 15 feet high, and then they arch, and the lights line the sloping parts of the roof. You hear coming from the south.
Back here again.
And then you smell something most foul Oh, it's disgusting. Like rotten garbage on a summer's day. And it too seems to emanate from the south.
What's that smell? It's not you, Aldrich, is it?
No, I'm quite clean. Thank you.
Where's it coming from?
You see them now, Zevram. Make a stealth roll, and you too, Torah. Make both of you make stealth.
Yeah, I sort of freeze in my tracks. And assuming they haven't noticed me, I'd turn around to Aldrich.
They get a 19. They roll for initiative. So yeah, the pair of you lurch in and lean in, and by the time you've stopped and seen what they are, the one in the rear spins around and lets out a screech and then begins running towards you with its spindly little centipede legs. So Aldrich, Zevram looks around to you and whispers, and as he does, you hear the screeching of tiny little feet against stone. What are you doing?
I will peek and and I to the left, and I shall hold my holy symbol out and cast Sacred Flame.
And he is caught in the flame immediately and begins to burn. The smell of garbage becomes far more oppressive as it burns. Far more offensive. And then they lurch towards you. This one runs at you, but when it hits the wall, it begins scaling along the wall. And when it attacks you, it's attacking you from an angle of being, halfway up the wall. Another one rushes towards you and does the same, rushing on the other side of the wall, but it actually enters the gap, whereas this one is still down side. So they're both on the wall, this one on that wall, and this one kind of in the apex, a few feet in front of Zevram, and lashing at you with their long, fetid, rotten, disgusting tentacles. A third one gets in. This one stays on the floor, however. And in all cases, they lash at you with their tentacles and try to pull you into their mandibles, fighting for you, trying to rip off your limbs one by one so that each of them can get their fill. So first, 3 tentacles. 1. What's your armor class, by the way?
It is the 21.
1, 2. And 3. Okay, so all miss, and then the bites. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so finally, the one that comes straight for you manages to latch its mandibles around you and crunch at your leg, drawing some blood as it tries to tear off one of your limbs and make off with it. A leg will be enough sustenance for it, while its companions can fight over the rest. But yeah, the rest of them, it lashes at you with its tentacles, trying to poison you, trying to make you paralyzed, but your steel skin is far too resilient. Lucius, a delightful smell has entered the room.
Fuck, why is there so many of these fucking bugs down here? firebolt at the one in the middle. Yeah, firebolt.
Damn, it bounces off. It's a kind of like shell. Orbit. Dex and Whiz?
Yeah.
Dex and Whiz and Strength. Whiz, Strength. Fails both.
Yeah, I don't think they can be affected by the telekinetic.
By the telekinetic? They cannot. Alright. So, disadvantage on attack rolls of this front one, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Zevram, they are only a few feet away from you.
Are they low enough for me to reach with a...
Yeah. That's right, they're only about 5 feet high, but it happens to be on the wall like a cockroach.
Sure. Actually, I won't move in just yet. I will cast Dissonant Whispers.
Beautiful. And it fails, breaking its shell open.
And it has to use its movement to run away.
Okie dokie. So does it do that immediately?
Immediately uses its
Okay,
reaction
cool.
to do that.
Beautiful. Aldrich, you watch as this thing flees from within your range.
He can
Strike it if
opportunity
you-
attack.
If you wish, you can attack of opportunity. But bounces off. It's Clayton. Ash, you're trying to catch up.
Well, you see, Boris, the reason why you're down here is the mystical gods just kind of put you down here. Thought it was for the best.
But I belong in a different sort of environment with grass and rivers and sky.
Oh, yeah, that's where I'm bringing you. I'm gonna correct it.
Well, you're the real god then.
Uh-huh. I don't think I can actually see it.
Probably.
Yeah. Alright, I guess I'll move forward a little dash.
Beautiful. Carrion crawls everywhere, Torin. Wasn't in the script.
Alrighty, I will step up one to here, and I think I can now hit 2 of them.
Yeah.
Alright, I will do green flame on.
Oh no, actually no. This one is technically in this square. It just sort of happens to be on the walls, so no, you can really reach this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will do a regular attack. Wait, actually, yeah, no, I'll do a regular attack.
Cool. Yeah, this time you smack through it. It only just barely breaks its shell, but it gets through.
And again.
Excellent. And again, it does it well. It's fighting for its life already, Aldrich.
I am going to just have my skeletal wings just sprout out from my back.
Beautiful. Wow.
Well, that's my save against it.
Right.
Plus everyone 10 feet.
And Torin, you'll need to make a charisma saving throw or become frightened. As you see your companion reveal himself as one of the cursed dead. Alright, so they both fail. Do they or become frightened of you. So they both have disadvantage and they can't move towards you. I think that's frightened, right?
Yeah, it depends on which frightened you're talking
doesn't
about,
it?
but that's the standard one, yeah.
Cool, yeah, of course it does.
It usually
Excellent.
tells you in the spell which frightened it uses.
Good point. And this one communicates with its others, revealing that there is plenty of carrion to crawl all over in this room. And now frightened of Aldrich, these carrion crawlers wish to make a hasty departure. You have a fresh... both of you, in fact, have attacks of opportunity available to you if you want to use them. And stay gone.
13 hit.
Sure does. It breaks through their cloak.
The
Nasty blow, too.
the DC is 11.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so
Oh, okay. We'll just say it works anyway.
What's your charisma?
Your charisma, is it really 11, like a charisma saving throw?
my charisma.
What's your proficiency bonus?
3 and my charisma 0.
Charisma 0. There you go. Right. Kind of makes sense. Yeah, but no, I'll try to remember that for next time. Cool. But yeah, they rush away and keep going, and you're able to pew them absolutely. But it looks like they've found satisfaction in the owlbear corpse. What are you?
KFC.
Exactly. That's right. It's already partly cooked. You don't get hot chicken down here real often.
Well, no reason to run after them, right? Might as well just move on.
Yeah, let's keep moving. There's absolutely zero benefit fighting them thing. And not to say necessarily they're a threat to us, but they're a pain in the ass to deal with. There's far too many of them down here.
I wonder where my one-eyed puppy...
Yeah, he's pretty cute. I don't know where you went to.
I'm cuter, says Byron.
Of course you are.
Well, he's probably about to become slug food if he stayed back.
I'm sure we'll run into him again.
Hope not.
Alright, well, should we head back to the goblin markets and see if we can't get them to start carrying those barrels out?
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, that, and maybe we should tell Groin about that room with the dragon skeletons. I'm sure he'd like that. I mean, him and his brother got so excited over just...
That was his original obsession, wasn't it? Dragon skulls. I mean.
Yeah. So I figure, we'll tell him full of dragon skull.
keep an eye out though. We did hear an explosion coming this way.
Yeah. That'd be for the best.
After everyone's come this way, I want to close this door and see if there's anything to bar it with.
Sure.
Before we go too far, is
Yeah.
there a door? Or is this a block of stone?
And remember that we fought the Eye Tyrant here, or Death Tyrant, I can't remember what it's called, and it looked like it was starting to disintegrate this way,
Okay,
but we interrupted.
I see.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
And I believe it was a beholder zombie.
Beholder zombie, Death Tyrant, same difference.
Looks like the corpse is gone though. Maybe little bits of it are here, but it's mostly been probably consumed.
Did
Maybe
we
the
disintegrate
Roomba from
it
up there
for-
came through. Remember we passed the big Roomba up here
Yeah.
somewhere?
I thought we did to a crisp.
Oh, maybe you did. I can't. Yeah. Shit.
Have we? We haven't been this way, have we?
To the left here? We
Yeah.
have not been. It was blocked off before.
Should we head down this way?
Sure. We can take a quick detour.
By the way, you guys might have an easier time if you just use the arrow keys.
Mm-hmm. Just need to scroll every now and then.
You hear the sound, Aldrich, up ahead of metal being dragged across stone and clicking.
Sounds like another, whatever that square box with legs was.
Oh, that annoying little thing.
You mean Halabaster?
I think what did you say his name was, Lucius? Halastron?
Yeah, Halastron, that was it.
You remember that murmuring rhubarb that you were hearing days ago, it seems now? That susurrus of voices, it's louder at every step that you're taking, coming like that.
Sounds like there's a crowd up ahead.
Maybe it's another goblin market.
Two of
Maybe
them?
they'll actually have stuff this time.
I think Groin would have mentioned if there was a rival market. He seemed like the kind to ask us to burn it down or something of the sort.
Hold on. Stop, Aldrich.
There are a pair of creatures up ahead that look like giant fleas. You saw a few of them turn to stone a little bit earlier. They appear to be fighting over a helmet. There's also a set of stairs here. A set of stairs leads down.
What is that?
I'm going to slowly back up.
They're so cute.
Well, it looks like they're distracted. Maybe we can pass by them. Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna use my dancing lights, but I'm gonna keep them flush against the wall and bring them down.
The dancing lights reveal the bas reliefs on the walls. They are mostly dwarves, drinking and singing, carousing. Almost all of them are men. There are a dozen empty iron torch brackets mounted to the north and to the south walls, roughly every 10 feet or so.
Oh, I can put them down, but I can't manipulate them. Interesting.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, yeah, that is a bit interesting, but I guess it's so that you can't see through their eyes. It's probably
Oh, no, I think what you've done is use them before in that red hallway.
Mm.
And that's why I can see them, but... Because I think if I go here... Oh, no, I can still see them. Interesting. But yeah. How far did they go again? 120 feet?
Whoops.
Yeah, 120 feet.
I have disadvantage, by the way, on my stealth roll because I'm wearing half plate.
Good call. Yeah, the susurrus is coming from the north, the chittering, chattering voices.
Okay, well, I just want to have a look about here with my dancing lights. If I don't see anything of interest, then I'll start.
Right. What's the range on dancing light? What's the amount of light that it emits?
What you've got there is right.
Oh, it is, okay.
But yeah, I can't manipulate them.
Hang on. I think I know what I can do. I'll try this. You can still see the light, right?
Yeah.
I'll delete these three, and I'll see if this works. You can still see the light, and the light is set correctly. Okay. Waiting for roll 20. Cool. These are Zevram lights. Bedroom dancing light. If I edit this now. Move it. Use this. You should be able to drop them down and move them. If you can't, then there's. Well, maybe they're in drawing mode.
Maybe.
Might be it too.
I
don't know. You should be able to move it. Yeah.
I see a door at the end there, I think.
Yeah.
That's right. I'll say, perhaps we'll come back here. There's a door at the end. But for now, let's see if we can get past.
What does the helmet look like?
It looks like an iron myrmidon helmet, like kind of similar to what the Roman legionnaires wear. It's pretty bad shape. It's pretty badly deteriorated.
Okay.
Nice.
The murmuring is getting louder and louder. Now that you're this close, Zebram, you can understand the undercommon tongue. Yes. There's about 6 of them, maybe 7. I estimate that half of them are wizards.
Which direction do I hear this from?
This up top right hand, behind a dwarven door of embossed iron.
I point to the door to the right, and I just rush towards it and bash through it. If I can.
Make an athletics roll as you're trying to break it down.
Oof.
So he just runs towards it and then boom!
Boom. Huh? Huh? Yeah, there's considerable confusion on the other side and the sound of someone knocking something over, and furniture or clothing or something falls to the ground.
In Grun's voice, I use my actor feat, and in Grun's voice I say, housekeeping!
Make a deception roll at disadvantage. It sounds like there's agitation on the other side of the room.
I point to the door for everyone else, like, start trying to push against it. Okay, if no one's going to help me, I'm going to keep trying to open this door.
Alright, keep going with the athletics rolls.
I can assist. Nothing would matter.
Bash, bash, bash. We keep putting our shoulder in, but we're getting nowhere.
What are the rest of you doing? Do something! They were talking about us in there.
Crunch. Aldrich reduces it. And we find a room filled with nothing. Those one-eyed monstrosities that we rescued earlier. They look like they are ready, and indeed they are, and they release their held actions immediately.
I just yell out, "Puppy!"
And three bolts of energy come hurtling towards Zebram as these entities unleash their magical assault. 2 more of them move into position to see what's going on. There we are. Okay, so make 3 Constitution saving throws, Zebram. You succeed once, and you are struck with devastating necrotic energy. Devastating necrotic energy. 18 points of damage as your skin begins to fall away and your hair begins to rot, and you age, and the cells within your body begin to die. Chaos breaks out. You're briefly able to take account of the room that the Nothics are in. It appears to be like a cobbler's center or something. There's boots everywhere, and quite a few helmets as well. But boots, they're everywhere. There must be like 100 pairs of shoes in here. And whatever the case, it's on.
Our initiative was almost so good.
Almost.
Just needed a 19 and an 18.
Or a 24 and a 25.
Orbit's taking his time to act because he's jealous of how big their central eyeballs are.
He's got eye envy. So have they been added to the initiative? I don't see them.
The Nothics?
Yeah, I don't see them.
Right. Yeah, they're
That's
on
why I was
7.
waiting to see if anything else was coming up.
Yeah, they have been, but they're very low.
That means there's more of them that we can't see if they're not on.
Maybe, don't read into it. I will say bad puppy and run in and take my first swipe. Does that hit?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm doing a couple of things at once. Yeah, so you take a strike at them, and you find that their skin is much harder than you'd thought, like stone, a stony crust that's filled with spikes and thorns. But you break through nonetheless with the unholy weapon that you wield.
10 damage as I mobile flourish and push it back 5 feet.
Crunch, and he pushes him back and knocks one of the helmets off, which falls onto him and falls into his lap.
Second attack.
That'll do it.
So yeah, 21 damage all up.
Beautiful. For the second attack is 21?
No, from both attacks. I shouldn't say it that way.
Yeah.
11 and 10.
Cool. Alright, so your series of blows rains down upon him, and when you break his skin, it's a kind of greenish purple dye that pours out. Not quite fluid, but not quite goo, somewhere in between. Aldrich, we tried 2 or 3 times to break this door down before finally getting there, and once we did, they were ready for us.
I will move here, then I will hold out my holy symbol, and to the 2 down here, I will cast, the fuck is it? Sacred Flame? Oh wait, not Sacred Flame, Toileted, I'm sorry.
No worry. Saving throw. Boom. And the reverberation of your noise echoes throughout these chambers.
And then,
Which one was it, sorry?
the 2 on the bottom.
Oh, these 2? Yep, cool. Yeah, good.
And then as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon and cast it like right next to this one right here.
Beautiful. Where, sorry?
Right here.
Beautiful. Cool. When you were able to make that attack immediately. That will do it. Cool. And so, like, he's taken by surprise. When Zevran runs in and does his flurry of blows, his attack, they are fought back, but you know, it's nothing that they think that they can't handle. You create your spiritual weapon, and it fills them with a sense of fear. You can see that they are terrorized. They're no longer laughing and smiling, but rather looking at your spiritual weapon horrified, in spite of the fact that it only did, you know, a pretty similar amount of damage to the sword blows of your companion. Is that the end of your go, Mr. Aldrich?
Ah, yes, sir. That's the end of my turn.
Wonderful.
Fire at this one here. Well, that was a fucking fizzle.
Apparently it was a good shot, but didn't do much. He hides and he's preparing for the worst. He screams, and then when your little tiny spittle lands on him, he kind of laughs and chuckles, and you can see him mocking you. He's pointing at you, and you can, because you can understand Undercommon, Zevran, you can hear the torrent of abuse that he is leveling at this apprentice wizard. Oh, why don't you boil me alive with your cantrips? Oh, I'm so afraid.
Conjuring up a fireball for next round in his direction, even if it hits only him.
If I wasn't so distracted with my Nothic, I would take the time to laugh at Lucius as well.
Oh, look out, he warns his friends. Prepare for his prestigitation.
Oh, luck.
Okay.
It's Ash at the moment first.
Yeah. I'll do that, and let's see how big is the radius of this. I will take out my water skin, pour some onto the ground, and cast Ice Storm,
Huh.
centering on this guy here.
Beautiful. So how many have to make a save?
Oh, it didn't send it all through. It'll be the 4 on the
Yeah.
out here.
1, 2, 3, 4. They're pretty impressed by that ice storm. That's kind of cool and like terrifying at the same time.
Then it'd be up. Let me just cast it again because it did not do everything right.
No worries. You might have to speak up. I'm having real trouble hearing you.
Sorry, just trying to be quiet because it's 2 a.m.
Yeah. No worries, man. Appreciate that. So, is it 6 damage to each or more?
No, it'd be a lot more than that. So
Cool. Okay, so it takes 2d8 and what another 46 on top of that.
Yep.
Cool.
6. There we go.
Excellent, no worries at all. 20 damage. And yeah, they are as terrified as they are impressed. Now they realise that they are in the presence of great. They realise that the apprentice has brought his master.
I'll give Lucius a wink.
So, Torin, what are you going to do?
I am going to stand right here and cast Shatter on the 3 next to the spiritual weapon.
Excellent. Boom, boom, boom. A loud ringing noise, painfully intense. It reverberates. Roll a d10 as these sound waves roll through the caverns of Undermountain. Beautiful. And the Nothics take the majority of the blow, but even so, one is torn apart, torn asunder. He seems to revel in the glorious magical energy as you bathe him in the waves of destruction. And he is annihilated, but it is such a glorious death. Alright, the Nothics finally have their go. And they want to surrender. They're trying to plead in their own language that only Zevram can understand, saying that they didn't realize what powerful mages. Archmages! Oh, I didn't know we were archmages! Please! Oh, we will do anything. We will serve you. We don't. Please teach us your magical powers. And the like. Zevram, do you pass on this message of surrender?
I sort of laugh to myself a little bit, like. They think we're mages. I that's about as much as I'll say.
All right. And so it goes on to Orbit's go.
So you've said that before that Orbit kind of feeds off Lucius's emotions. So Orbit is probably coming around this corner right now with all 4 of his eye stalks like ramrod straight and just pure murder in his eye, and he's focusing both of these on that one there.
Is that the strength one?
Yeah, it's got a reroll.
Yeah, it's gonna be a second one. So it's Frost, right?
No, that's
It's fear.
Is it fear? Okay. And it was this one, right? The one, the directly opposite Aldrich, more or less?
The one that was mocking.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it's the one. And so he immediately uses his reaction, knocking Boots over as he goes, to run into this room and try to find somewhere to hide. Meanwhile, as Zevram prepares what to do, laughing as he goes, the door behind Torum suddenly opens. By magic. Literally. Magic. And there, with their crossbows at the ready, are 9 were-rat. Each of them lets loose with their attack. Their Orbit, Torum, and Lucius are all there. You're all completely unaware of their appearance, and so you're all taken by surprise. 3 attacks on each of you. These first 3 are on Orbit. All advantage. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, this is gonna suck because you can't use shield.
Yeah, I need to take it off GM layer, so I'll roll that. You can't see any of those. I'll re-roll them. I haven't looked at them myself, so I'll re-roll them all. These 3 are on
I
Orbit.
need to re-roll them.
I haven't looked at them, so I'd like to re-roll them so we can all see. So yeah,
Okay.
1, 2, 3. These are on Orbit. Be alive.
No.
It's a bad night for familiars.
I thought he'd have 11 hit points or more. Those 3 are on orbit. These 3 are on Tauren. 1, 2, 3. And these 3 are on Lucius. 1, 2, and then the third we're at doesn't fire. Wait, I know these guys.
Ooh, okay. Someone's angry. Do I get to take my turn now, or?
Yeah, it's your go. That's right. There's someone with a higher initiative than you.
Sure. So I'm sort of in the middle of telling these guys, bow down before your masters, and we will spare your lives. And then I just hear this shook, 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 and I sort of step back so he can take an attack if he wants.
No, they have readied actions, but they're not attacking you at the moment.
Sure. And I see what's in front of me, and then I see, I guess, Orbit on the ground. Can I possibly throw out a healing word to Orbit?
Yeah.
See if I can't save her.
And was he over double? Did he have like what's his max hit points?
He was at 0 because all 3 of them hit because of the but it wasn't double.
So he's alive, right?
Yeah, he has 13 hit points.
And he wakes up and looks around groggily, and looks into Zevrum's eyes, and looks into Lucius's eyes, and looks into Forum's and Aldrich's eyes, also, and Ash's all simultaneously because he's got so many of his eyes. And he appears very, very thankful.
Just makes eye contact with everyone at the same time.
That's right. That's how much love he has right now.
I sort of shoot him the finger guns and say, I've got you.
Oh, behold. He fixes you in his gaze.
Is it now my familiar? Can it be mine now?
Let's just say that you're more familiar.
Hey. But yeah, I used my action to try and convince these guys, and then bonus action, so that's me done.
No worries. Mr. Aldrich, we can see a fireball on the way. But you've got a spiritual weapon here. It stands ready to attack these cowering, awe-filled monstrosity.
I attack with the spiritual weapon, the one closest to it.
As you do, the Nothics unleash their own ready-to actions, realizing they have been betrayed. One rotting gaze goes into Zevrum, and the other 2 go into Aldrich. This one is at Zevrum, and these 2 at Aldrich. Constitution saving throw, 1 for Zevrum, 2 for Aldrich.
I haven't used my inspiration, so I might as well use that now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, me too.
14.
Yeah, go ahead. You have to make 2 saves.
Oh, and Tauren, we get 1 reroll per session, which is our DM inspiration.
Got it.
Yeah, I never did get around to explaining that. Yeah, so 14 points of damage. As the necrotic energy fires forth from their central eyes and destroys your flesh.
That's me?
You can now do your spiritual weapon.
Okay, they hit me with necrotic.
That's right. Yeah, 14
'cause-
on you. Yeah.
And I'm resistant
shit.
to necrotic, so is that half?
It is. That's right. So it's 3 from first, 4 from the second. A total of 7. It tingles, kind of like
Okay.
little sensation.
Oh. I rolled the spiritual weapon and it rolled 23, so I'm assuming that hits.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. Destructive.
7 force
Right.
damage. And, going to cast, Toll of the Dead on the same one I just hit with the spiritual weapon.
Wonderful. And he is trying to plead for his life. He knows that you are the superior wizard. He accepts it from you.
I say in Undercommon, I say, then truly surrender and kneel.
He does so. It looks kind of queer as it kneels, kind of like a gorilla lurching forward, or an orangutan leaning on its front knuckles. They all proceed to kneel. And Lucius.
Lucius is seeing red right now. These bastards come out the door behind him and put 3 bolts into him and his familiar. That's the most pain he's felt since entering Undermountain. He puts his hands together and starts compressing a fireball. Much more powerful than his normal ones, and casts fireball at 4th level instead of 3rd.
You mean business. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what was it? 29 damage?
Yeah, 29 damage.
Oh, they all survived. You got a lot of angry were-rats.
What was Orbit's initiative?
Not sure.
That's
Pretty sure it was like 4.
Yeah, it was a crit fail.
that's right. He should have gone before me. Just have him hide behind.
Yeah.
At this point, he's just like hiding in my robes.
Those poor were-rats, they got roasted and toasted. And they are bald and blackened right now.
And Lucius looks like he's charging up another one.
Seeing how angry Lucius is, I figured I probably should help. So I will drop a little beat.
Beautiful.
They all have disadvantage on the save.
Oh, nice.
And it'll also drop them out of their hybrid form.
Oh, nice.
Oh, hilarious. And you would immediately, those of you who know him anyway, would immediately recognize Dasher Snowbeetle.
I think we met him once, like, how many months ago?
Fair enough, yeah, good point. It's hard to forget the richest kid in Waterdeep's face.
Oh,
Alright.
is that Snowbeetle? Oh,
Yeah, that's right. His father is either the richest man in Waterdeep or simply the richest half.
Well, technically the laws of Waterdeep don't apply down here, so...
No, they do not.
They attacked us first. This is self-defense.
He didn't.
Fireballs don't discriminate.
Okay.
He did.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, what's the damage on this moonbeam?
Only 8.
Only 8, you say. You destroy all but 2 of them. And Dasher Snowbeetle is one of the ones who is destroyed.
Well, at least I didn't kill a noble.
Oh, okay. I don't want to kill you all.
Just wanted to maim. Perhaps
Just
seriously
bravely
injured.
Yeah.
The remaining 2 on their 2 or 3 hit points panic and run, no longer in were-rat form. They just scatter somewhere into the room. Yeah.
I'm gonna be that guy, but from the looks of it, you would have burnt whatever's on that day.
Oh, good call. That's a good call. Except,
Oh, it's
whoa.
fireproof now.
Well, it is, because it's made of stone. So I'm wondering if the fireball would knock it over because of the explosion.
If it's not burnt completely, it's like charcoal.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's cool. I guess you're right.
Shouldn't have said anything. Trust me to pick on the details.
You're not the only one.
Is the snow beetle guy related to that guy that was trying to make Ash his bride or whatever? That fat ass guy.
I think he said. Didn't he say that one of his relatives was the leader of the gang, and that was his boast?
I don't remember.
Not a clue. You guys are the ones that have had all the dealings with the were-rats.
I don't know. I think he boasted about like being related to the leader, and I'm assuming it's that kid because he was a halfling. The snow beetle's a half.
Yeah.
All halflings must be related, right?
Sure.
They sort of are. I mean, that's kind of their story. To an extent. Anyway, we're gonna call it here, right, Arctic?
Yeah, we better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because Lucius is about to go like episode 3 Anakin on the younglings, and
Well, I'm gonna spend 1 second level spell slot just to heal up Orbit a little bit.
I'll pull the arrows out of his eyeball.
But I actually have to run because I'm seeing Shazam tonight with some friends, so
No worries.
we're gonna have
Shazam is really fucking good.
Is it? Okay. I'm
Yeah,
glad to hear.
really, really good. Like just the first time these Aquaman was good, but it's better than Aquaman.
Oh,
Hopefully it'll make up for